The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Morning. Hey, what's everyone up to today? I hope I don't sound dead because I certainly feel it. Welcome into halftime. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Phil Elson spent basically all of yesterday afternoon figuring out I got the flu. So there's a little thing to celebrate for all who want to out there. Hi. Yeah, thanks, B. Bone broth, broccoli, bacon bits, all the things that can try to make you happy. Oh, man. Maybe the next 3 hours can help out a little bit if anybody out there has something to bring up. Morning, Matt Jones. Good morning, Christian Johnston. Anybody want to have my voice for me today? What do you think? What's
Yeah, so I can do baseball games.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's a good thing get this out of the way before baseball season because this is about as loud as I can be right now. Won't be on the air tomorrow for women's basketball, and I don't know. Feel like crap. Great. It's gonna be fun. So let's see. Where do we start? Where do we start today?
Super Bowl week.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about the Super Bowl. Got an off week in basketball. This basketball team, where are they? Like what is your now? You know, we don't do a whole lot of preseason predictions, Phil, but we look. You talk about the eye test. We don't talk about the eye test a lot, but that's something that we've seen this team play. Is this team going to catch lightning in a bottle and figure it out, or is this team going to underachieve? That's kind of the thing because there's
Are they
so much
underachieving yet? Is it underachieving right now?
I think they're just achieving. You know, I think they're right there. They're come see, come saw. I think it's the most 6-3 come see, come saw that you could see.
Achieving.
I mean, when you think about it, they haven't even scratched the surface of how good they could be. They're just kind of going through they're just kind of doing it, just kind of watching. Nobody's really firing on all cylinders. Is the potential there to be a Final Four team? Is talent? Yes. Is the desire there? I don't know. I don't know if this team really is that hungry or if they're just kind of a little bit spoiled and just like it when it's easy.
Are they waiting to flip a switch? You know, is that what it is? I don't know. I mean, that's a simplistic way to look at it. I mean, there's just deficiencies right now on the team, and you're wondering can you paper over those deficiencies or improve upon them before you get to March? And I just don't really know if you're going to see a better defensive team right now. Are you? I mean, you all of a sudden flip a switch. The football defense got no better.
Any team.
Football to basketball is a different thing. I don't know if I can relate it to that, but it's like the talent on this basketball team is all there. It's just sometimes, Matt, it feels more like it's offensive talent, fast break talent, a little three-point talent, and then acting tough on the defensive side. And, you know, sometimes they don't really play very tough, but they act it.
They're definitely, most of the time, they're the best athletes on the floor. And I thought Kentucky met them match for match on athletes. I mean, and then we never really, we didn't have that desire or that toughness. And and I think Acuff has masked a lot of deficiencies. So we sit here and we're watching him and we're watching how stellar he is and the things he can do. And I think that's already masked a little bit. Like they're not a very solid defensive team. I think at times they try to play for each other, but there's a lot left to learn. There's a lot of meat left on this bone on this team, and it's up to them. I still think they're in a great spot. They're 6-3. They haven't really beat anybody, but they're athletic. They're way athletic. Way athletic. It's just, can they figure out how to be basketball players and can they congeal right? Can they put to use one of our favorite terms from the late great Eddie, can they get the recipe for the hog delight right? Because the pieces are all there. Like that, the accoutrement, everything they want is there. Can they just blend it together and make it right? I don't know.
So, I mean, what's the feeling around the fan base about basketball right now? Because it's like, you know, you're looking at, what are we thinking right now? 12-6 is about right. Is Sweet 16 going to be enough? Right now, I don't know how much of a run you're going to make unless you can get some stops. And I think there needs to be someone other than Acuff that's look. I mean, how many? Oh, let me put it in a different term. Then, how many times is Darius Acuff going to take 20 shots and make only 8 of them? Go 1 of 4 from deep. Maybe that's the outlier, Matt. Maybe Acuff, struggling to hit the outside shot is the thing that's going to be the outlier, because 3-point shooting is one of the reasons this team, is as dangerous as they are, and his ability not just to get to the rack, but also to hit from the outside, that just wasn't there against Kentucky. They're not going to win many games if they only hit 3 threes, considering
And
they just have a lot of trouble keeping teams inside like 75 to 80.
And having no transition points, having no fast break points. Like, that to me blows my mind. That's effort. That's getting the ball and going. And that's what I mean when Kentucky matched them athletically. Like, we didn't have the advantage there, and we could never get over it and kind of get, because there's no excuses for this Razorback team to not have but 2 transition points. That's a wild stat.
They should be getting back to practice today. I think Cal gave them, well, I guess they would have gotten back yesterday, Sunday and Monday off. And hey, man, it's not really the home stretch now, but you got to start playing your best basketball. And Guy says he doesn't think they've become a team yet.
Well, anytime you have 2 freshman guards, you're going to be soft. Like, think about, look at all the teams in the Final Four the last couple of years, the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16. When you have, and I'm not saying the freshman guards aren't amazing, because they are. They don't have enough college offseason. They don't have enough. They're not as strong as they're going to be in 3 years. They're still high school kids that have come, that are they're freshmen in college. They're in 2 years they'll be stronger. Acuff won't be here. Maybe Malik Thomas will be here next year. And then your veteran guys in Brazil, in Ewing, in Pringle, and I'm throwing Knox in there. They just not. I think Billy Richmond and Wagner have been. I think you could say those guys have been okay. Like, for what we're asking them to do, guard the team's best player in DJ Wagner, Billy Richmond, be a menace. Have a high motor, be a hustle guy, be a menace. Everybody else is kind of, and then Ewing's gotten better. Ewing's gotten better as it's gone on, but. Where is Knox? Where is Pringle? I mean, for this team to have success, you're gonna need everybody. You need everybody for this team to make a run.
It's going to be so disappointing if there isn't, a real run. Whether it's Sweet 16, Elite 8, or whatever, at least making it out of the first weekend. But I also feel like would it be selfish or just wrong to think that with the young talent that you have, that you had coming in, with Knox coming back, with the preseason hype and everything, that would Sweet 16, not be enough? I was kind of thinking about like the end of baseball seasons recently, where we've seen Arkansas knocked out in their own home ballpark in a regional after winning a division, and you had a nice, strong regular season, but nobody talks about that. It's all about the exit and not getting to, where you feel like your talent level is supposed to get you to. That's kind of how I feel about this right now. It's also the way that they started in SEC play, Matt. I mean, to go 0-5 last year and then, work your way back into health, get yourself a couple of wins in the tournament, it felt like an achievement. I don't know if I'd feel like that, this year. Like, I should never look at a Sweet 16 team and say, that wasn't enough. But there's something about it this year that it just feels like it might not quite be enough.
The thing is
because right now I don't know if I see you could. I mean, anything can happen in March Madness. Anything.
That's right.
But right now, honestly, you could see Arkansas getting upset the first weekend.
The last couple draws I've seen, they're playing Nebraska in the second round. That's to me, that would be I don't know, to Nebraska. Now, are we have more athletes than Nebraska? Yeah. But you know what Nebraska is? They know who they are. This team just the Darius Acuff show? We're going to stand around and watch him, and then if we can leverage in space, movement, move with a purpose. If you don't have the ball, move with a purpose. Have proper spacing. Get leverage. Know how to get the guy on the back hip to create lanes. Like, it's not that hard, and they're so athletic. And the one thing that I really that is a turnoff. When you're dating, you have your turn-ons and your turn-offs. When I'm watching basketball, and the biggest turnoff is seeing dudes on the offensive end be super athletic, and then on the defensive end act like they don't know what they're doing.
Like it's not even there. Someone else will make the play.
That's such a turnoff, man. It's like, oh, then your teammates see that, then you're not with your team. You're not playing for your brother. Like, they just if this team would just play for each other, they could beat anybody. If you could play for your brother.
And there are games you felt like that too. South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Even sometimes the way that they have fought back from some of these big deficits on the road. Man, I'm looking forward to watching 11 in the morning on Saturday, because it's not the atmosphere or anything like that. It's not the matchup. It's not rivalry or anything like that. Like, there's no hype behind an Arkansas-Mississippi State basketball game outside the idea that, hey, Hogs haven't won in Starkville in, 11 years? But this next game, don't you feel it's going to say a lot about Arkansas basketball for the rest of the month? Better come out, not hair on fire, but hey, have a good 5 minutes or so to start the ball game instead of what we've seen recently.
It's 2 road games in almost 48 hours. It's less than 72 hours. You're going to have 2 road games, and then you get an Auburn team coming into Bud Walton. Then you got to go to Alabama. So let's just say this next 4-game stretch is 3 on the road and 1 at home. Is 2-2 good enough? Is that now you're really thinking, do they need to go 3-1 in these next 4 games? Mississippi State and LSU are not making the tournament.
Yeah,
they're
I would like to win these next 2 road games, but it's like those 2 teams. It's not enough. You want to see them beat
Auburn, Alabama,
team.
Missouri, A&M, Florida, Texas, Missouri. I
want to see a win over Auburn because they've already crushed Arkansas. Or if you find a way to upset Alabama in their own building. I think that would go a long way, but I'm a long way from wondering if that can happen or not. Let's see how they play in Starkville and Baton Rouge first, because it hasn't been easy in those 2 cities, even for the good Arkansas teams of late.
When we go to Alabama February 18th, there'll be a time where we're down 17 points.
You're probably right. I mean, this is how it's gone.
Then
they'll fight back and take the lead somehow in the second half.
There'll be a moment where we're down 13 plus points in that Alabama game on the road. No question about it. That's just that's when you're saying. We've watched these games. That's who the Hogs are.
So then what's to say that when you're playing a team that's the caliber of an Alabama, if it's like in Nebraska in the second round and you're in some neutral site where you don't have, where it's like 50-50 fans and all that, you don't have the Bud Walton crowd. You fall behind by 17 again, it'd be kind of tough to think that wouldn't happen. Well, we'll see what happens on Saturday. Don't fall behind by 17 against Mississippi State. Pretty please. Not really the team to be doing that against. Halftime today on a Wednesday brought in Joe Healy from D1 Baseball. He's the co-editor of SEC Extra and the co-host of the Highway to Hoover podcast. We'll do a little preview on the SEC baseball season and Arkansas baseball that starts next Friday. That's at 1:15 today. And Grant Hall coming up in a moment. No Clay Henry today. He's at the Hogs Illustrated Luncheon, so we'll have Clay with us tomorrow. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open throughout the show whenever you want. Calls and texts 877-377-6963. And we'll have Grant Hall in just a moment, so stay with us.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Hotline at 877-377-6963. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutzierge.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. So when you try the mini taco salad, beefy potato loaded griller, or chips and nacho supreme dip. Enjoy the looks. Just don't let it go to your head.
Yeah, bring the car around.
You know there's no valet.
Then who's getting the car?
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
There's nothing better than hitting a bet unless your whole crew hits it with you. That's what MyBookie's all about. Are you ready for the next 2 weeks of the NFL? We're hooking you up with 2 can't-lose locks of season. Bet up to $10 per lock and double your money when they hit. Select the lock of season tab in the sportsbook. Wager up to $10 per lock. Double your money on 4 bets that can't lose. Don't forget about the Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie now, punch in code HOGS, and get your first bet covered up to $500. If you don't hit on the first bet, just use your Bet Back bonus token and run it back. Must opt in to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small.
Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561.
Or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they love the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we got Grant Hall on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline here on a Wednesday morning. Good morning, Grant. I hope you can understand or hear me, can you?
Yeah, you're doing okay. It's 35 baseball degrees here in Fayetteville, and getting ready to go to a luncheon at Whole Hog Cafe here after a while. So I think there were 500 or 600 people at that Swatters Club thing Monday to hear Dave Van Horn. And he did a good job. He was funny as usual. I think they ran out of food, but man, people are ready for baseball. You know, y'all summed up basketball pretty well. I thought you and Matt did in the first portion of the show today. They're just not clicking like we thought they might.
Well, is there still optimism for it? I mean, it's only February the 4th. There's still time to goose the defense a little bit, but I just don't know about that. It's almost like they are what they are.
60 days away from the Final Four, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. There's positivity, I guess, towards basketball, but I mean, you can't just let yourself sit in the wash of a Kentucky loss because there's still another half a regular season to go, right?
Yeah, and I think that I heard y'all talking about the hump yesterday. I'm expecting a livelier crowd than y'all are. I mean, I think they've got a week off also. Mississippi State's going to be loaded for bear in this game, or loaded for bulldog or whatever. And, this guard that Hubbard can go, I think he had 20 points and a half recently, and you got to contain him. And Arkansas has not been getting off to good starts, and the scenarios you've laid out there. I mean, if they don't play better at the beginning, they're going to be down 10 or 12, and all of a sudden, however many 6,000, 7,000, whatever they draw in there these days, will sound like more. I mean, I've seen a lot of games in there, and those fans will get with it. Now, it's not like it used to be, and they're struggling this year. But I'm with y'all. I mean, these next four. I mean, right now, it looks like maybe 2-2 almost. Like maybe you split with Mississippi State and LSU on the road, and I don't know. Auburn's playing really well, but this team. We hope this team has another gear that they can. I think they'll look a lot better Saturday just after a week's rest. And incorporating whatever the coaching staff can put into them, and some guys that have been going 0-0-1 in some key categories can start going for 8 or 10.
That's a good point. DJ Wagner is my favorite player on this team. Carter Knox is my second. As far as just players I like that I think can be successful, and I get it that Acuff's the best point guard, best freshman, but guys that I think can turn the game. Is it better then to just don't play Carter Knox? I mean, what is he hurt? Like, what is the deal? Because he's supposed to be a first-round draft pick, and what are we doing? Like, do we have to sit him down? If he's hurt, then let's don't play him and play somebody else.
Well, he only took one shot the other day, which was puzzling. A lot of puzzling things about that. Sometimes if a coach emphasizes to a player, we need this, this, and this from you, don't worry about the scoring. Sometimes guys just won't shoot. I'll show this guy, But I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know how bad that injury might be. But they need a spark, and maybe we'll see it Saturday. I mean, maybe they'll go out and win by 20 on the road, and everybody will think, okay, now they're back. They're back in business again.
Grant, let's see here. I think Mississippi State fans are going to be more excited about their baseball season starting a week after Saturday than really firing up for this Arkansas game. For the baseball team, too, next week.
Well, they got a new coach. They got Virginia's coach, right?
Yeah, they got the Oak. They got the Oak from Virginia. So, and they look like they got a really good team too. For the baseball team, I know you've heard a lot from Dave and everything. Yeah, what do you think will be a strength for this team right now? My first thing I think of is they're gonna have. I think there's gonna be really good starting pitching. I think they're gonna be tough to score on, but people are like they're not gonna have the same lineup they had last year. No, but I think this could really be a strong lineup too.
Well, they had 127 home runs last year, and Dave said they're probably not going to do that, but they might. I mean, who knows? The infield looks really good. They're really. I think when you're looking for a way to get Nolan Souza in there, maybe at DH at the beginning, then that's a pretty good problem to have. I mean, they like Pompey at third base. They like Brumbaugh, who will be the first true freshman starter since Tim Smalling in 2007 at shortstop. Smalling he started 45 games that year. They really like Brumbaugh. And with Robinette hitting well at first base, then I guess you would play Kozil at second. So where does Souza fit in? And he still isn't throwing the way, I mean, it was a significant shoulder injury. So, but he can be a key player. He's a good hitter, good speed. The outfield, I think Dave said it's the third or fourth year in a row where they're replacing all the outfielders. It's interesting, Phil and Matt, this team has 8 transfer players coming in, portal guys. I think maybe 3 pitchers and 5 position players. I think there were more last year. I don't know, Phil, you would know that better than me, but
there were.
Georgia, for example, had 23 and 24 the last 2 years come in new, more like a football team these days. And Dave is a developmental guy. He's always believed in that, and you can tell he already likes the chemistry on this team. So pitching is probably a little bit of a question mark, but even then, I mean, if some guys like, I don't know, he was talking about Fisher throwing 12 straight strikes the other day, and Parker Coyle turned down money to come back to Arkansas. And of course, they like Gackle, they like Dietz. Within the team, there's been some conjecture about is there enough pitching, and it'll come down to probably he likes his freshman pitchers, and maybe some of those guys can come through.
Grant, you going to be watching the Super Bowl this Sunday? Are you fired up for it? And who do you got, and why? Is it just as easy as taking the Patriots because Hunter Henry plays for him?
Man, I think that's the first time I've thought about the Super Bowl all week is when you just said that. It's not like it used to be, is it? I don't know if there's quite the hype that there used to be for this thing, but it'll probably gin up the rest of the week. What is it? Is Seattle still a 4.5-point favorite? Last time I looked, does that sound about right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, Hunter Henry. That's the rooting interest that Arkansas fans would have. I mean, Vrabel's done an amazing job to go from 4 wins last year to what they did this year. I don't have a whole lot of. I don't have any, visceral interest in the game, but I'll be watching. I mean, I hope it's a good one.
Yeah. Hey, we had an Arkansas guy that just retired in Gus Malzahn, and if he's polarizing, if he's controversial, I think he's a heck of a coach, and left his mark on coaching football. You look at Rhett Lashley, what he's doing in SMU, a lot of similar things that Gus Malzahn did. What is Gus Malzahn's legacy? What is because he's retired? How do you think the state of Arkansas or fans in Arkansas look at Gus? Or how do you?
Well, he was. There's no doubt he was a pioneer with the hurry up, no huddle, and getting Auburn to the national championship game. I think the game kind of caught up with you by what they did with the rules, making you wait, referees making you wait to sub. That took away a lot of what he was doing. Someone told me he was only ever going to do Florida State for a year, and I do think he got a courtesy interview for the Arkansas job this last time, probably to pacify some elements of, for example, boosters in Springdale and so forth. Whether he's done coaching, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, man, the next big high school job that opens in Northwest Arkansas, they're going to call him kind of, like Kim Dameron went from college coaching back to Fort Smith Southside. I don't know if he would be interested in doing that. I know he loves the game. He's always loved teaching it, and but yeah, he's as they once said about Frank Broyles when he stopped coaching football at age 51. There's a lot of ham still on that bone, so maybe he will get back in it in some way.
Oh, Grant, I think I've been doing a little back and forth on the text line with, I think that's Ron and Lamar, but we know who that really is. It's Brian back there trying to have a little fun with baseball stuff. It's always fun. Did you see the Norm DeBrine Day they're doing? I thought that was really cool. Wearing the 23 on March 23rd with the gold letters. And the video they put out yesterday with Norm, you could see the appreciation in his eyes. I absolutely loved it. And the only difference is we're not going to be able to tell who the guys are based on the numbers on their back. It's kind of like Jackie Robinson Day, everyone wearing 42. Everyone's going to wear 23.
Well, this Hall of Fame thing is coming at February 12th. Would love to go to that. Norm, and 50-something years of covering sports, there never was a more fun person to cover. Just a great guy. I mean, man, being on some road trips with him and the stories he would tell, there's nobody that doesn't like Norm DeBrine, and I'm looking forward to that weekend.
Cool. All right, we'll leave it there, Grant. Always appreciate you hopping on with us. Thanks so much, man, and we'll miss you tomorrow. I won't be at the basketball game, but we'll visit again sometime soon, okay?
Yeah, eat some chicken soup. That women's team is playing a little bit better. They're going to break through one of these days.
I think tomorrow could be the day.
Could be.
I hope it
See
is.
you guys.
All right, thanks, Grant. Matzo ball soup is what I got delivered yesterday, Matt. It's the same as chicken. There was a nice chicken inside of it too. It's the Jewish version of chicken and dumplings. It was perfect.
I've ate chicken noodle bone broth soup every day for the last 6 days.
You're not getting the flu.
Every single day.
Well, it's a good thing you're not in the same room as me as well. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Got another phone number for you. It's the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, high security, and automatic gates. Financing up to 18 months as well. You can get a free quote at thefencemanAR.com or call 479-782-3936. It's the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. We'll continue with more halftime after this.
Over half this signing class came from the state of Arkansas. Let me say that again. Over half this high school signing class came from the state of Arkansas.
This is halftime.
DraftKings Sportsbook is making every snap, every drive, every moment of Super Bowl 60 count with DraftKings Live Millions. Open the app, opt in, and get your promo token. Place a live bet of $1 or more on the Super Bowl, and you're in. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. That's code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. Bet live for your share of $5 million in prizes with code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Minimum odds minus 500. Prizes either bonus bets or single-use 20% profit boost. Max bet $20 that expire in 30 days. See official rules at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos for entry period and free method of entry. Sponsored by Crown Gaming, Inc.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
All-white chicken meat breaded in tortilla chips. They're Taco Bell's crispy chicken nuggets. Pretty different than the nuggets you're used to. Haters will say, that's not the classic nugget. Haters are right. Haters will love them anyways. Oh, and they come with Hidden Valley Ranch, another classic. But we mix it up with Diablo. They can't hate that. I mean, they can, but they won't. Crispy chicken nuggets from Taco Bell. A brand new classic. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-5151. That's 800-885-5151. Again, that's 800-885-5151.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Thanks for all you come sit next to me for your certainty, just like when I'm a man things were better then, once would never again. We've all been take that.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I feel like I've asked this question before. Kind of relative to teams that you care about and reasons why. Are you as much of a Razorback fan as you were 15 years ago or even 10 or 12 years ago? I relate that, Matt, to like the number one team that I loved growing up were the Pittsburgh Pirates. They were a religion for me. I mean, 162 games a year, I'd say up until once I got into the minor leagues, started doing radio, I did not miss a game. I either had my ear on a game or I watched it or I was at the game. And it's been a minute. It's been a long time since I felt that about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, part of it is because my life and my career takes me in other directions and I can't really watch all of those games. But then another aspect, because I've got about half the baseball season that I could focus on them if I wanted to. I don't want to put my time and effort into something that I don't feel I'm getting something in return for it. Which is, there's an enjoyment about it. I love being at a ballpark. It'd be different if I lived there, go to games. I'm wasting my money on a team that's not winning, but I'm still getting something in return. I'm getting the ballpark experience. It's different watching it at home on television, and I don't have that passion anymore.
Well, sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just wondering if that relates to people when it comes to Arkansas, because you kind of feel that a little bit sometimes.
I think you're hitting the nail right on the head because I watch every basketball game and every football game that the Hogs play. And the thing that you don't have anymore, it's a lesser than product in football. It's hard to watch. So your excitement, that's what I mean when I say they're ready. People in the state are ready for a revolution. They're ready for anything like what Indiana just did, anything like what SMU just did. There's so many teams out there that are having some success and winning some games and giving you some hope and being proud. There's not a lot of pride in being in Arkansas, right? Nobody's proud. Like it's not the buzz going around. Anytime you go anywhere, nobody wants to really talk about it. It's because they've been so bad for so long now. It's time for a change, and I think we made it. I think we got the right guy up there on the hill, and hopefully he'll change it and get some success going. But no, I watch the football games, I watch the basketball games, and I'm I born in Arkansas, probably die in Arkansas. I'm Arkansas to the day I die.
It's also unfortunate that the change in what it costs to attend a game.
Do you think it would be different if we were winning that cost? Like, would you feel better about it? Like when
I think people would.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, you'd feel like if you're, look, I don't know what it's like to be asked to have a $40,000, $20,000 donation so that you have the right to buy tickets to a football game. And so many people have been doing this on an annual basis. It's part of who they are. It's a family legacy. The tickets are passed down generation to generation. Of course you're going to have those tickets. And a lot of these people, almost all of them, are asked for, multiple times added donation to keep these tickets while you're 2-10, 0-8. And this is not just an oasis, just a 1-year thing. It's a 15-year stretch.
4 times in 15 years.
Right. It's a 15-year stretch. And it's not just, one person's fault. It's a whole series of decisions that's led to that and failures. But you just look over at a place like Indiana where I don't know if they're upping their ticket prices or asking for more for donation for tickets or everything. But those are people that right now they'd be happy to fork some of that money over. They wouldn't be thinking to themselves, what am I going to be getting for this? Because they're it's the happy factor. It's like it's miserable to watch something that is a poor product and then be told we don't have a choice. We have to reseat the stadium. There has to be more money coming in, and there's all these other reasons. It's like this the money. Unfortunately, Matt, it feels like it goes into whether or not there's success on the field. And there's no guarantee now.
Well, how you allocate that money, I think, can help. You got to be able to evaluate talent and make the proper allocations. Who are we spending our money on and getting the right people here?
Man, that's the most important aspect of this. Ryan Silverfin, still, it's not a disadvantage compared to everybody else in the league, but you do have to have a keener eye for talent and whether or not that talent can be coached to a point of being, an SEC caliber player, but a good SEC caliber player, not just somebody that puts a uniform on and plays in the SEC and has a couple of good quarters in a game, but somebody that goes out there and might dominate their position for a full 4 quarters.
They've been brutal to watch at home, too. I mean, over the last couple of years, the games they've had in Fayetteville, I just go back to 2 years ago with the way they finished against, was that Auburn and Missouri. Mississippi State comes in and beats you on your own field. You beat Tennessee in the year, but it was like a 12-7 game. I know you won, but it was just like, there's not even a lot of excitement. That's what I mean. Getting a guy if Coach Nutt, you get a good offensive and defensive line, right? And then give me like 5 athletes and I can make plays happen. Give me a receiver, give me a safety, give me somebody who's special at what they do. That's what I mean when I'm talking about allocating the money right. Like, find some people that are playmakers out there that can play a Darius Acuff, a Trevion Brazil, a Carter Knox. You have to go find somebody that's decent. And we don't have anybody. We don't have action stars on the football team. I mean, we had a Rocket Sanders one year. I think they were decent, but I mean, there's just not a lot to be like, oh yeah, nobody's scared. We've talked about the last couple of years. Nobody's scared you on this team. And then if we did have somebody that did, we didn't know how to play them, or they transferred to Oklahoma and led their team in scoring. Led their team in receiving, or they were making plays on SportsCenter with the Detroit Lions because we didn't know how to get them the ball. Like this, it really, you don't even. And then I think they're making so much money going 0-8, they don't care. They're making so much money going 0-8. Why would they try a little bit harder or spend more money? They're already making enough money.
Yeah, the added money ends up being something that just feels distasteful to people. And we're a week away from baseball. You can feel the excitement about that. And baseball is more expensive than it was. Even 4 years ago, it's more expensive for the concessions, for the donations to have your tickets, everything. It is more expensive to be an Arkansas baseball fan. Is it more expensive to be an Arkansas basketball fan? Yes. We've reseated Bud Walton. Your coach is the highest paid in the SEC, or at least one of the top 3. The players are all getting plenty of money, and the concessions cost more, and it does cost more to go to an Arkansas basketball game. You don't hear a lack of excitement about it. I mean, are there complaints about the money aspect of it, what it costs? Sure. But I think people are a little bit more willing to spend that because they feel they're getting something back for it, which is not just the enjoyment of the sport itself or the experience, but it's to go watch your team perform well and win. Are you going to feel that in August? even with any sort of the most dewy-eyed optimist about Ryan Silverfield will look at next year. And Matt, I saw this on, whatever on social media, stuff like that. But let me pull this up. Who wants to hear this again? Because on an annual basis, how often does this happen? Here's this power rating that put together the football schedule for every team in the SEC, and Arkansas has the toughest schedule again. So with all that known, and I have no idea, we have a sense, maybe a little bit, about what the football team's going to look like, but it's a completely new team from last year. And I do like the hire of Ryan Silverfield. I like the things that he said. I like, a chunk of the players that he's brought in, and it looks like an upgrade from last year. How much of an upgrade, I'm not sure. But the excitement level, that's the whole question I was getting at here, because Arkansas football is the number one thing in the state. And do you feel that passion for Arkansas football? Matt, when I moved to Arkansas in 2001, and that was still in the wash of, it'd been 7 years from the national title in basketball. This was football first, and you could feel it. You could feel it. And you played 3 games at War Memorial then, and I worked at the Travs, and you could feel that every time that the Hogs came into town. I haven't felt that in Little Rock in a long time. Opponents are one reason why. But the success or lack thereof of the team is another reason. You go up to Fayetteville for games too, and man, you feel it there, and that's got to change. The first thing that has to happen, though, is wins. That's the only way people are going to start believing. It's the only way that they started believing at Indiana was that Cignetti started to win games when no one expected it. That's got to happen with Ryan Silverfield too, because I'm not sure how many people are going to be expecting, more than 4 or 5 wins.
Hey, man, this first class is always big time. You always remember your first. This first class kind of sets the tone, sets the tempo for what he's going to be at the University of Arkansas. I hope he got it right, and if he got it right, and I think everybody is supporting him for the most part, because what else are you going to do? I mean, we were 2-10, 0-8. That's it. It's when you're at the bottom, there's only one way to go, or you're going to be playing in China next year.
Here's the other thing too, is when you say, oh, it's gotten to the point where we can't, the regular fan can't go to more than 1 or 2 games a year. Prices don't go down
ever
in sports.
Ever.
Ticket prices very rarely go down. These prices are never coming down. In fact, as you still ramp money up, as who knows, this house cap may get eliminated, prices could go up.
By 2030, they're going to be up another 400%. From whatever they are now, they'll be up another 400%.
877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. When it comes to sports, things don't get cheaper, because you know what happens, and you see this in professional sports. The salaries keep getting larger and larger and larger. The media rights keep getting higher and higher and higher. The only way that stops is that you stop watching the game, and you're not going to do that because I don't want you to either.
On it.
That's one reason why. All right, we'll be back in a moment, wrap up hour number 1. This is Halftime.
This is Halftime.
Mark your calendars and save big at the Greater River Valley RV Show going on February 12th through the 16th at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Special show pricing and financing available on all units, new or used. Come and see our large inventory of industry-leading brands such as Grand Design and Forest River. Take advantage of the huge savings at the Greater River Valley RV Show at Crabtree RV Center, February 12th through the 16th. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
It's tax season and those checks are coming, so put that refund to work and come see Cody and the gang at Advanced Mechanical Performance in Fort Smith. Need repair or service on your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all. Plus, they've got you covered on power sports parts and accessories too. Call 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Has your spouse suddenly entered the transfer portal, going from a franchise player to a prima donna ready to take the money and run? Don't let her get away with a huge buyout. Be proactive. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to ask about custody, alimony, and child support. 479-769-1505. Because even in divorce, the best offense is a good defense. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
I think we should start seeing other people.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
DraftKings Sportsbook is making every snap, every drive, every moment of Super Bowl 60 count with DraftKings Live Millions. Open the app, opt in, and get your promo token. Place a live bet of $1 or more on the Super Bowl, and you're in. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. That's code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. Bet live for your share of $5 million in prizes with code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Minimum odds minus 500. Prizes either bonus bets or single-use 20% profit boost. Max bet $20 that expire in 30 days. See official rules at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos for entry period and free method of entry. Sponsored by Crown Gaming, Inc.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. Got a lot going on during the week. I really don't want to leave the office, but my stomach's still growling. Thankfully, my buddy Mitchell introduced me to DK Fit Meals. David and his team put together incredible meal preps for me each and every week. Mitchell, I'm sure glad you recommended DK Fit Meals.
And with Arkansas basketball season underway, finding time to cook every night just isn't that easy. So with DK Fit Meals, I've got meals that are ready to go in just a matter of minutes. Find your flavor at dkfitmeals.com. That's dkfitmeals.com. So easy, even Ty can do it. Fuel your life with DK Fit Meals.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust.
Says it's time to close now. I guess I better go now.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Want to go to Jason in Missouri. He's called our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Jason, appreciate you calling. We got a couple minutes. How you doing?
All right, I'll carry you as much as I can, Phil. Give you a voice break there.
Thanks.
You sound bad, partner. I hate to tell you, but hey, I work in retail. I encourage you to get Tylenol Extreme Cold and Flu if you haven't gotten a hold of it yet. Works wonders.
All that stuff's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so here's what I want to talk to you and Matt about today. It applies to you guys. It's not necessarily the main event. FanDuel up here in St. Louis announced the other day that they will no longer carry the Cardinal broadcast, which affects you guys because you're in the same market. Don't know if you know that already out there. Here's my thought. You talk about cost and everything, and it's a bad deal. When is enough for a program that doesn't make, in a professional sense? Because Arkansas is always going to have the money because of a public university. When does it become a thing to where the people go, what's the point of me paying $100 a year if they're going to do 70 and 90 kind of results? I'm curious what you two guys think.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at in the last segment. You're talking about paying $100. You're talking about the Cardinals and paying, I think it's $100 for the whole season. Is that what I read about?
$100 a year. The caveat is they're supposed to be blackout free unless you're traveling, like hypothetically you're in Pittsburgh and the Cardinals are playing. You get neither side. So you're only getting half of a blackout release in a world that doesn't need blackouts anymore.
Yeah.
Streaming is what it is, man.
I think they've been moving in that direction to do away with the blackouts for a long time. But, we were so used to thinking that we were getting, free games, and you weren't getting free games before. You were paying for them through your cable subscription. So, it's just another subscription that we're all asked to pay for. I've got my MLB subscription. If I wanted to watch every Pirate game, I'd have to add another $100 for that. Yeah. I mean, it's subscription upon subscription upon subscription. I mean, it's the same thing to be a Razorback fan. If you want to watch all the basketball or baseball games, you got to have ESPN or SEC Plus. To be an NFL fan, you got to have subscriptions if you want to watch all the games to Netflix and Prime and ESPN and I mean, there's a dozen others. It's, you think about this sometimes. What's the product of sports? Is the product of sports the game, or are you the product of sports? The customer, the paying customer, ends up being the product of sports. Think about that for a moment. We'll be back for hour number 2 after this.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Okay, guys, quick PSA. Forgetting Valentine's Day flowers is not the move. Get it right this year. Send farm fresh flowers from the Books Company. And right now, get 25% off with code CANTY. Books flowers are cut fresh, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. And it's easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so order now. Go to Books.com and use code CANTY for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon, low 40s north, upper 40s south. Clear skies. It'll be a cold go of it tonight and overnight low mid-20s. Sunny skies on Thursday with a high close to 55 degrees. And then Friday, we're ending up with sunshine and a high near 65. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by COP CDL Academy. Want a life-changing career? Give them a call today at 479-632-1050 or check them out online at copcdlacademy.com.
ERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin Phoenix dominate, and we not doing it. We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. Is vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man.
Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, 12:01. Anybody? Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston. No guest here in the second hour. Joe Healy from D1 Baseball at 1:15. Anybody realize today is National Signing Day?
For baseball?
For football.
Oh.
It's the first Wednesday in February, Matt.
Grant didn't even know there was a Super Bowl this Sunday. No, he knew. I'm just saying, but nobody. It's a weird world. Weird.
But it's like I can't even fathom that it's National Signing Day and it's just like nothing. But it's been like that for a while now. I can't hear you, Christian. Something's up with your microphone. Matt, when National Signing Day, when I first came to Arkansas, and for about the next 10 years, we had to do at the Travelers. We would do they call it a hot stove night. And it was usually, it was just before the Angels were our affiliate, just before the Angels would go to spring training, we would bring in either their general manager, the farm director, one of our former players, and they might send, an Angel to a banquet. But we had to make sure, now you always did it in early February because pitchers and catchers report about 10 days from now. And we always had to make sure, because I didn't realize how big National Signing Day was when I first started working there. They scheduled a hot stove on National Signing Day. And one of the reasons you want to do one of these events is to have your fans come out, but also get media attention. And there was no way, literally zero way, to get any media attention, even in Little Rock, for the Travelers when it was National Signing Day. I bet you the Travelers could host their hot stove today, and any of the sports reporters that are looking for something to cover, they'd get over there today. Because National Signing Day now is just not a thing. Early Signing Day is the thing. I don't even know why we do this thing right now.
Yeah.
Yes, reclassification is the thing. That's exactly right. Reclassification Day now. It should be a national holiday.
I know you brought this up a couple weeks ago about best basketball jobs they were going through in order: ACC, Big 12, Big 10, whatever, SEC. Arkansas's third on the list behind
the field of 68. Yeah.
Did you see that? Could you believe that? I mean, when's the last time Texas? I mean,
that's the
Kevin
crazy
Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge. They've had better basketball players in the last 20 years than Arkansas has. But when's the last time Texas has been any good in basketball?
So this is the field of 68 that put these rankings, and we brought this up a few weeks ago. That's right, because they were going on a league by league basis. Apparently getting opinions of coaches anonymously on what they think the best job in each conference is. Kentucky got all 16 votes as being the number one job in the SEC. And I don't think there's a surprise about that, but there's also a level of, you're getting support from the administration. You're going to have sellouts in your building. Rupp is a great place, but there's expectations to go along with that. Texas is number 2, and these are the coaches that voted on this. In front of Arkansas. And like, truthfully, how many other... I want to think about Texas basketball. I know you put it in terms of the success that they've had, but it's just like if I were to think of basketball at Texas, and they did hire a good coach in Sean Miller. Now, he's a really good coach. And by the way, when Texas and Arkansas get together, there's a little thing going on behind the scenes there because John Calipari recruited Sean Miller to play at Pitt, and they've only coached against each other once. And that's when Cal was at Memphis and Miller was at Xavier. So I don't know how often they're in touch, but
when I think about Texas, I think about baseball and football.
Exactly.
I don't think about basketball.
You think of football and baseball in that order, and you'd put women's basketball now over men's basketball because Vic's got a team that routinely puts over 100. So there's I get the idea that they probably have all the money they need for Texas basketball, but because of the alumni base, the building is very nice. I mean, it's a cool build. Sometimes it feels like that building was made more for concerts than anything else. It is Austin anyway. There's no way that Texas really is the number 2 job in SEC basketball. They got Arkansas 3rd, Tennessee 4th, Florida 5th. And just on my estimation here, I'd put Arkansas ahead of Texas. I'd put Tennessee. I'd put Florida ahead of Texas too. And one of the interesting things is putting Auburn down at 9th. I wonder if they viewed it the same way when it was Bruce Pearl as the coach instead of Steven. Charlie's here. I bet he's got some thoughts on Texas being the number 2 job in SEC basketball. Charlie, what do you think of that?
You know what, Phil? I cannot stand them. But if I'm looking at it exactly what you're talking about right now, from a financial standpoint, I could go along with it. I'm not talking about what Matt said, where it's like, because I feel like as far as the job right now and like the situation right now, it would be Arkansas. But I think people are looking at that as, you said coaches voted on it, right? So yes. I wonder if they're looking at it like from potential and long term. Because Arkansas has Cal right now, and there's the Cal effect no matter where he is. And look, we had Muss before that, but I'm just saying, and Muss fits, the portal era and how he does things. But I'm just saying that maybe they look at it that way. But if we're going to argue for financial, I would argue that somebody's trying to call me. Hold on, let me.
I don't know if Charlie called in super high again today.
No, let me decline that call. All right. Anyway, they'll get over it. I'll call them back. No, if they're talking financially, I could argue for some other schools over Arkansas. So that's the only thing that I would say that would put Texas over Arkansas basketball-wise. But no, as far as like right now, and but I guess they're looking at, like I said, long term and financially. But I just. I'm with y'all on that. I mean, Kentucky, I guess.
Here's part of this, too, is, they got a really good coach. I think Sean Miller is
I like Sean.
I think he's an outstanding basketball coach.
I agree with that. I don't know what they're looking at when they're voting on that. If they're just looking. Arkansas has an outstanding coach. So, yeah, you're right. Anyway, I was thinking, Matt, yesterday what you said about Carter and on the 2-man game stuff. I was thinking about something too. Wonder if you thought about this, Matt. Look, at the end of the day, I know we have to defend and we have to rebound better. But if this team is going to struggle in that area at times, and when that's happening, could you see Cal possibly, look, at the end of the day, if you're not going to rebound anyways when you've got your big out there, why not play Billy and Carter together more? And even maybe look at playing, and I know this is going to sound a little bit crazy, but if we're still getting our butts kicked on the boards and we're still getting out physical, okay, let's play to our strengths. Let's put TB at the 5 for some stretches in games and play smaller and use our speed and athleticism. And yeah, we're already getting our butts kicked on the boards at times. So I'm just looking at it from that standpoint, and that would help the spacing too, because we'd be a 5 out at that point. You wouldn't have, anybody standing at the mid post or high post, and then you could do. I agree with you. Bringing somebody up like a 2 or a 1, and letting them set a screen and run that same 2-man action. And if they switch it, you got something there. Or however they play it, they're going to be wrong. I agree that you could get Carter involved more by doing that. And the thing last year, I wanted to bring this up. If you guys remember last year, the same thing was happening with DJ, and he didn't get on the ball more until later, where Boogie was being used so much. Do you guys worry at all about hitting I'm not going to call it a freshman wall, I guess, because I feel like his mentality, the way he is as a human being and the way he carries himself, he seems like he's consistent. But do you guys worry that he could hit maybe some sort of wall. I guess from the standpoint of, I don't know, Phil, they play the way it is in high school. I know they play them.
It's just kind of like the responsibility that he has because there's so much on his shoulders to score and distribute. But that's what he came here for, too. I mean, isn't that what he would want? And, I mean, to me, Matt, Acuff is an alpha. Doesn't he? He plays like
he's
that.
an alpha. He's an absolute star. He's a bona fide superstar. He's just little bitty. It's
I don't worry about him wearing down.
Yeah.
But the responsibility that he has with the ball in his hands as much as it is, with the minutes that he plays, that he's got to be out there really. I mean, there's stress that's added to it, but I don't know. It's like you trust somebody with it. That's also why I've brought the idea up. It's like there's got to be somebody else to take off that slack. Somebody else could lead the team in scoring in a win. That's all I'm leading to.
And it's tough for coaches because they usually go with what they got. But I'm with you. You got to get some other people to be able to handle the ball because it just takes so much out of you. And then you find little spots in the game to rest if it's on the defensive end or where you want to rest. But yeah, you have to have if you can have, it's like having two running backs. If you can have two guys that can handle the ball and alleviate some pressure, man, you're going to have your legs in the fourth quarter. You're going to be able to go. And I do. I think we have guys that can handle the ball other than Acuff.
Well, and handle the ball, but also score. You know, looking back at the box scores from the NCAA tournament last year, Jonas Adu led Arkansas in scoring in the win over Kansas. How many times did Adu lead the team in scoring in a game in the regular season last year? All right, who led the team in scoring in the win over St. John's? It was Billy Richmond with 16 points. How many times this year has there been another leading scorer other than Darius Acuff? I'll bet you it hasn't happened once. Maybe one time back in November, Malik Thomas, but that's it. So if Acuff's off and you're in the tournament, this is not a team right now that's going to win a game defensively. Somebody else has to step up if Acuff is off. And right now, they don't have that.
And you bring that's a great point because to be a champion team, you have to find different ways to win. And right now we have one way to win. It's the Darius Acuff show. We can't win just on our defense. We couldn't win a grinded out 53-58 type of game. You know, we have to win on Acuff is going to run the show and he's going to have 20 and 10. Like he's going to have close to 10 assists to get other people involved. And then he's going to have to be efficient. That's the other thing. His numbers were so efficient. Even what did he end up? 10 of 20 or 8 of 20? You know, so it's not that
8 of 20.
8 of 20 wasn't that bad. It's still a 40%, but he was at a 50% clip before that. So he can win you a lot of games. I'd rather have Acuff on my team than on some other team. That's for sure. But they don't have another. You're right. They don't have another way. Maybe it's a 3-point shot. Maybe you get hot. I do think as a group, Wagner, Thomas, Acuff, Brazile, Carter Knox, Billy Richmond, all 6 of those guys right there, if they're wide open for a 3-point shot, do you have a problem with them taking an open 3? Not at all. Not. And if we lose that way, then we're just not good enough. But all 6 of those guys at any time, if they're standing by the 3-point line and they got a hand down, then it's man down. Shoot it.
877-377-6963. You want to talk about that on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. 11 in the morning, Saturday, on the air, 10:30 with the Razorback Courtside Show with Chuck and Zim from the Hump in Starkville. Get over to Joe's Grill and Cantina for the game because if you're wearing your Razorback gear, you'll have half-price apps and cheap taps all throughout the game. Drink specials that keep the party going. And, of course, happy hour from 3 to 6. Each day, Monday through Friday, at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Right where they've been all these years, South 74th, across from Harps, and online at joesfortsmith.com. Halftime is back right after this break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. This is Hog Reaction.
Be good sons to your stepdad, because that was nice of him to take you to that game. Because I know it's way past y'all's bedtime.
Presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
I have been impressed by the crowds that we've seen in these games.
Hog Reaction is also presented by Sawyer's Sunrooms and more. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, only on ESPN 95.3. What's the play this Valentine's Day? At ESPN Arkansas, we can lead you to a score. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a pink sapphire and diamond necklace from Swift's Jewelry and gift cards from Cupid's Lingerie, Gregory Jewelers, and Joshua's Fine Jewelry. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day, plus earn other entries by following our social media accounts. The winner will be announced on Friday, February 13th during halftime. Hitthatline.com/Valentine's Day.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Ace has always been the helpful place, and now we're even more helpful by offering instant savings to Ace Rewards members. Not a member? Just sign up at Metters Lumber Ace Hardware to start saving right at the register. Right now, save $30 on select DeWalt 20-volt max tools or $20 on select Ego outdoor power equipment after instant savings with your Ace Rewards card. Ace, the helpful place. Must be an Ace Rewards member to receive instant savings. Available through the end of the month. See participating stores for details.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Fill her up, please.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell, Live Moss.
I've been a bad, bad girl. I've been careless with a delicate man. Sad, sad world. Break a boy just because you can.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. Now let's get back to halftime with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Arkansas football legend Matt Jones.
All right, going to some texts here on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Matt, Troy and Harrison wants me to try Hot Damn for my flu. I don't know. I've never tried it before. He says it's an alcoholic cinnamon schnapps.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sounds like it
I
might
don't
be
think
tasty.
I've had that one either. Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm going to be drinking on a day where I'm feeling like this.
No, and you put a half a shot in a toddy. Yeah, it's not. Don't go drink half a bottle of booze. That's not going to make you feel better.
I was on the phone with my dad on the way back from the doctor yesterday. I literally spent like 3 hours going to get tested and then waiting for the pill that's supposed to make sure you don't replicate the virus anymore. And I'm on the way back. I'm a little frustrated on the phone with my father, and he tells me, maybe when you get home, maybe have a drink. And I'm like, I don't know if today's the day for that. Not at all. Because it's that feeling like I don't even want to look in the refrigerator and think, what am I going to eat today?
Your whole body's achy. You just, yeah. I don't. I'm sorry, man.
Well, at least getting through. I will say this. It takes a little bit of time to get the voice going, but I don't feel like I really couldn't talk when the show started. It was miserable. I really appreciate you taking the show in the direction you did because I didn't know where I was going to go. And then right now, it's like I can actually talk a little bit. I can do it a little bit. The honey helps. Matt's made sure I got onto, honey and tea and all that. But yeah, I was very appreciative. Here's a little bit of advice to all those out there. Make friends with your ex-wife. That way she might help you later on in life when you're sick with the flu and there's nobody else to help you with this. So thank you very much for that. And for all the time, Matt, that I have eaten matzo ball soup, I couldn't tell you the last time I made it. And I'm certainly not cooking these days. That's not happening.
Yeah, man. Get some soup in. Get some chicken bone broth with some noodles and some celery and carrots and onion. Get as much of that good stuff in you as you can. You'll be, what's today? Friday. I think tomorrow you should make the turn, but Friday I think you'll really start. You should start feeling better.
So now that I'm open about this here, I mean, I'm supposed to fly with the women's basketball team Saturday to Gainesville. And like if you're on a team, like it's appreciated. You're going to be sharing germs with
recycled
people.
air.
It's just what it's like. But when you're I'm not around the team all the time. I don't have to be around them. I don't have to be in the locker room. They probably wouldn't let me in anyway. Like the last thing you want to do when you're one of the tertiary people around a program is to be the reason that anybody got sick. That's wearing a uniform or is coaching them or anything. Like that's the absolute last thing that you want to have happen. And it goes, like the thing about illnesses, they go through team travel really easily. I saw this the only time, all the years I did minor league baseball, Matt, and we have a designated hitter in minor league baseball. I had a pitcher hit once, and it's because so many of our players got sick from a stomach flu on the bus that we didn't have enough hitters for a day that day. So we had a pitcher who did a little bit of hitting in high school and college,
Did he get a
DH
hit?
that day. Dude made contact all four at-bats too, so at least he did that.
Nice.
Sean Brummett, I'll never forget his name, left-handed pitcher at Indiana State. But it's like that was a moment I was like, yeah, it's a good thing I didn't get sick. You know why? Because I drove to San Antonio instead of being on the bus. Otherwise, I might have been puking myself. But those illnesses go through teams really, really quickly. But when I get on that plane Saturday, yeah, I'll be masked up. Got to be masked up. Here's another text. It's from Mike from the 479. So speaking about university and the money, he's asking about cutting programs like tennis. And look, I mean, that's got to be something that you're wondering about. There's a lot. This is a conversation that's going all around in college sports. I've seen this around South Carolina, Arkansas too. You know, that you do wonder about that. If you, and I don't have the dollar figures up in front of me, but just in terms of what does this bring to the university? If you're losing $1 million for a program, do you want to see that there's at least something you're getting for it? Whether it's positive publicity or championships, that does stand for something in some cases, and not just to be a money suck, so that you have the requisite amount of sports to remain an SEC school. I think Arkansas probably has a couple sports that they could drop if they had to. I'm not exactly sure, but you can't help but wonder about that, Mike, because if we're talking about, this whole $15 million plan for the university is not just about raising money. It's also about cutting some things too. That's on the Hunter Yurachek aspect. They've got to cut and raise at the same time, whether that's going to be administrator salaries, or if you want to say the one way that you could cut costs faster than any other way, it'd be cutting a program that loses $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $6 million. You can't help but wonder about that.
Well, you got to show losses. There's a way to run the books, and so I do think they can allocate transfer money in certain ways. You show a loss here to save money here, because there's some of those programs you're incompetent if you're losing money and you're head of the baseball or head of the track, whoever's in charge of that aspect of it, because you're one of the best in the world. You're one of the best in the country. And so if track's losing money, then everybody must be losing money.
I just don't know how track makes money, right? I mean, football makes money through so much more than just ticket sales, the licensing, the rights from ESPN, the fact that you make money from the playoff. That's directly for football specifically and no other sports. There's just more revenue streams for those sports. And I don't know how track could make money. They probably have. I mean, how many track athletes do we have at Arkansas? I mean, those are two large teams, cross country and track. I mean, it's essentially the same group. And those are all scholarships, and you're feeding them. And
they're winning national championships.
They are
and SEC championships.
But you're getting something for it. That's what I'm saying. I think if you can call it a money suck, yes, it loses money. I don't know how track could make money. But you're getting something for it. You're getting the pride of being the number one or one of the number one track programs in the world, and growing Olympians in Fayetteville. I mean, there is a point of pride to that. Can you say that about tennis? Can you say that about swimming and diving? I mean, that I think is exactly what Mike is getting at here. I mean, but here's the other aspect: is that it's a little bit of savings, and the money still has to keep generating itself as it goes along. You'll cut tennis, and maybe it's $1.5 million a year. You're still going to need another, who knows, $3 million, another $1.5 million. It's never going to be enough. But those are also programs that won't ever make money. I mean, you're paying coaches' salaries. There's the scholarships. There's food. There's travel. And not enough people going to the games. I mean, no tennis program in the country makes money. I would bet you there's not even a track program in the country that makes money. The only programs that make money are football and men's basketball. Like South Carolina women's basketball, apparently, according to their reports, Matt, loses $6 million, or a little less than Arkansas, but they win championships. They're paying a heck of a lot of money into coaches' salaries, and the NIL at South Carolina women's basketball will
LSU.
dwarf.
What about LSU basketball, women's basketball?
I don't know what their dollar figures show.
I bet they make more money than the men's basketball team.
They might.
I mean, they have more people come to games, and it's like we haven't delved into this, but how much does a women's 5-star basketball player cost? We know what a men's 5-star basketball player costs. How much does it? $150,000? Are they making $1 million? Are these women making
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But
the number one high school basketball player in the state, I mean, in the country, that goes to UConn or South Carolina or Louisiana, LSU, do they make $500,000? Are they just making $100,000?
I remember the dollar figure that I think Mike Neighbors brought up when we played UCLA last year was that it was like $1.5 million
for the
roster
whole team. Yeah.
For the whole team. So maybe there's a player in there that's getting $500,000 or something like that.
$250,000.
Yeah, but like if South Carolina women's basketball is losing money, isn't everybody else losing money?
I know.
UConn losing money. I mean, Gino Auriemma is not lowering his salary. They're not. They're paying all those players too.
I talked with there's a high school girl that goes to school around here, and she's going to go to Mississippi State and play college softball. I know how much money she's making. What she told me she's getting a month. So if that's real, that's a Mississippi State women's softball player. They're all making a lot of money.
And Mississippi State softball also will lose a lot of money. just like Arkansas softball will, just like every sport will. I know I've been out there saying I don't really believe the dollar figures that shows that Arkansas baseball lost $3 million because they stay in the same hotels, they travel the same they did before, the ticket prices are higher, and you still sell the place out, and the concession prices are higher. So the revenues are all there. There's a shell game sometimes with all of this.
And you had 600 people at the Swatters Club.
Right. I'm not telling you that Arkansas baseball turned some huge profit, but for not that long ago, that was a self-sustaining program. I don't think the costs have changed too dramatically to the point where the revenue rise may have also changed. And also, by the way, college baseball, and I know it's not on the level of football, but like every game is televised. So there are rights fees that are being paid for baseball to be on television in a much different way than they were 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. The finances of sports, always fun. But I will tell you, well, Dave in Fayetteville's got the interesting yeah, we know about the deal at Texas Tech. The thing with Texas Tech is that's a guy, that's a billionaire. That's a billionaire that's throwing $1 million at a pitcher. He didn't care if that program loses money or not. He's just throwing his profits, his own personal profits, at Texas Tech Athletics, and it's all their sports too. So you won't find I don't think you'll find another softball program where you're going to have a pitcher that's making $1 million. Just feels like it. Now, I still do with all this money that comes in here, and it's like, well, what is the product of sports? I heard this the other day. I was listening to, there's about Disney parks and the company of Disney, and where Disney makes most of their money, really all their profit now comes from the parks, from Disney World, Disneyland, all the international parks and all of that. And once you are inside the gates of that amusement park, they got you. They got you. $5 bottles of water, everything, where it's just priced so crazily, where you go there thinking that the product is the enjoyment that you get while you're inside the park, all the rides, all the food, the smiling kids and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is that you are the product. That's why the prices are jacked up as much as they are. They're going to squeeze as much as they can out of you while you're there. That's what sports has turned into as well. The game is no longer the product. You are the product. And then it goes into the team. Maybe we can say sometimes the enjoyment is the product, but it doesn't really feel like that all the time. Much more to get to on Halftime right after this break. This is ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
Has anybody had the cream corn here? Have you ever done the cream corn? If you haven't done the cream corn, try the
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutziers.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. So when you try the mini taco salad, beefy potato loaded griller, or chips and nacho supreme dip, enjoy the Lutz. Just don't let it go to your head.
Yeah, bring the car around.
You know there's no valet.
Then who's getting the car?
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
There's nothing better than hitting a bet unless your whole crew hits it with you. That's what MyBookie's all about. Are you ready for the next 2 weeks of the NFL? We're hooking you up with 2 can't-lose locks of season. Bet up to $10 per lock and double your money when they hit. Select the lock of season tab in the sportsbook. Wager up to $10 per lock. Double your money on 4 bets that can't lose. Don't forget about the Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie now, punch in code HOGS, and get your first bet covered up to $500. If you don't hit on the first bet, just use your Bet Back bonus token and run it back. Must opt in to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
One soul to get your lover back to you. Don't wanna hold you. You ever pray with all your heart and soul just to watch her walk away?
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
There's thoughts that the NFL may be going to an 18-game schedule. The union does not want 18 regular season games, 2 preseason games. Instead, what it used to be, 16 and 4. What do we do? 17 and 3 now, so 18 and 2 is supposed to help out a little bit.
18 and 2 with 2 preseason games, so that's 22 weeks because you'd have two bye weeks with the 18, and then you would have 2 preseason games, so it's 22 weeks of a regular season. That's almost what college football is now.
I was going to say, I saw something yesterday after the release of the playoff schedule for college football, that the midway point, if you look at like the week 0 and the championship game, that the midway point of the college football season is like November 10th. Are you serious? November 10th is
I saw something
there's like
that
2 games left on November the 10th.
52 days gone from when the conference championship game is to when the national championship game. So the day when Big 12, SEC, they all play their conference championship game, it's still 52 more days before the championship game.
Hey, even with the extension of the NFL season, they get this thing over in a month. Baseball gets the playoffs over in a month.
That's 2 months right there. Yeah.
You don't need all that time for college football to do it. You don't need 6 weeks, do you?
They have this idea that if you're in the college football playoff, there should be a game on Christmas Day. There should be a game on New Year's Day. Like that's the college football play. You don't have to play the college football playoff after all the bowls have played. They should be in there. The Rose Bowl, you could play that every day on January 1st still. But they think extension. They think the fact that we make it last 60 more days, we make more money, and maybe they do. Maybe they make more money because it's quantity, not quality. That it comes into the thing where it's like, if you've qualified for the 12-team playoff, why are you waiting to play that when all the other bowls are gone? Like, just start playing it. Give them 10 days, and then let's go.
I think they view it, since ESPN owns the whole thing. It's they're not going to be putting playoff games against other inventory that they own, because at that time of the year, that's what people are watching, those bowl games. So they're not going to put those big games on at that.
You still
point.
have that bowl game, just a different day. You can move that bowl game. I'm saying it should be integrated. It should be while the bowl games are going on. Okay, tonight's a playoff game, but tomorrow's still a bowl game. Now, you don't have to do all the bowl games, then the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
And I don't think they'll
shorten
ever
it down
do
a
it on
little bit,
Christmas
condense
Day
it.
now. And I love the idea of Christmas Day, because college football wants its own day. And now the NFL and NBA have Christmas pretty much locked up. But that's why it's like New Year's Day was college football.
That's what January 1. That should be, at least the Final Four should be on January 1. And then you have the championship about the 10th or the 12th. You give them 10 days to get ready. You want to give them ample time.
We still do quarterfinals, but it is playoff games, December 31st and January 1st, but it's quarterfinals. Just, I wonder why, because I saw from Kendall Rogers yesterday on D1 Baseball that there's a little bit of movement to push the baseball season back for college baseball by a couple of weeks. Why would there not be movement to try to push the college football season a little farther into August? Because one of the only reasons I can think of, maybe part of it is, school's not in session. Is school supposed to be? School's not in session while you're playing games in December quite often. The heat. Maybe that's got to be an aspect of it. If we're trying to avoid frozen temperatures for baseball in February, do you want to be playing how many of your games, if you push the football season back 2 or 3 weeks into mid or early August, you're going to be playing games in 100 degrees. I don't really know if you want to do that. So, there's all these ideas, Matt, about what the college football calendar should look like. But the owners of college football, ESPN, they've got this thing mapped out exactly the way that they want it. And again, this isn't going to change, because look at the ratings. For all the complaints that we have about the college football calendar, we still watch it all. That's like the only way you want to get things to change, is to not involve yourself in it. Is to show that I'm not into the way that you're scheduling this. And everybody, we all watch the games. So you just wait. Because there's going to be another layer of playoff, 16, and I think it'll be 16. And then the season extends. Matt, we will have college football at that point from week 0, last week of August, into February. You already have the NFL extended into February, and they're putting more games on. We're not putting more regular season games in college football, but we're certainly going to be adding another layer of playoff. And February is going to be when that championship occurs. Because it's not true when it comes to spring football that more football is good, because people don't watch a lot of, the UFL or what the XFL was or the USFL. There's a reason why these leagues have consolidated. But what is true is that the football that you love, that you care about, the NFL and college football, if they put more of it on television and have more games, you're going to watch it. So they'll just extend that season out even longer because that extends the profit window.
Each game has less meaning when you do that. When you're playing 18 more, when you're playing a 12-game schedule, each win is weighted a lot more than when you're playing 18 games. It's but you get more concession, you get more parking, you get another TV day.
You're looking at it from the player's perspective, and I think in some cases from the fans' perspective. Now you do wonder about, does this also go along with in the NFL? If you're adding another game, you better be raising these guys' salaries to whatever it's going to be for another game. Don't just put them out there and say you're making the same, because that's beating them up. They deserve that. When you add another layer of playoff games to college football, one of those guys get out of it. I mean, I guess there's the NIL that they get, but it's really the pockets that are being lined in the executives' offices of the TV networks. That's where all that money's going to, and the owners of ESPN. And of course, ESPN really is the owner of college football. Seth says Hog fans are checked out by November the 10th. Seth, Hog fans were checked out by the middle of October last season.
I was going to say, was September the midway point for the Razorbacks last year?
That's crazy to think about the halfway point being November the 10th, because by then you have 3 regular season games left. That's not the halfway point of the season. That's just wild. Well, I keep being told more football is good.
All football should be done before second semester starts. That should be first rule. First rule of Fight Club. It should be, okay, well, the football season for that calendar needs, however we want to do it, school starts back about the second week of January most places. All football should be done by the time school. You give yourself a week to 10 days of a grace period, but by the time second semester starts, class starts, because they are student athletes, all football should be done for that year.
Yeah. Well, look, March Madness gets wrapped up in a month. You know why they wouldn't ever extend that? Because CBS has to show the Masters once that's finished. College baseball tournament, that wraps up in a month because nobody wants it to go any longer, and it shouldn't. College football, they're going to extend as long as they possibly can to squeeze as much money as you possibly can out of it. 877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I want to remind you about Roback. Hey, it's getting nice outside. You're thinking Arkansas Game Day Collection, you need new Razorback gear. You look at Roback.com, you'll find it right there on the Arkansas Game Day Collection. It is custom designed for Razorback fans, hoodies, polos, and Q-zips, and much more. If you go to Roback.com, RHOBACK.com, and use the code RUSH25 at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first order. That's Roback, and it's where action meets comfort. Back in a moment with more Halftime.
I also want Kevin Petula flipping burgers at the local McDonald's or something. I don't care. Whenever he's an offensive coordinator, it's like he's flipping burgers. One half he's cooking, and the other half is completely raw.
This is Halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stay warm and dry this winter with Byrne and Carhartt winter workwear. Muck, dry shod, and extra tough rubber footwear to keep those toes dry. Winter clearance racks are full of casual and hunting clothing at 50% off. A select group of Western boots now 50% off. Crappie season is coming and fishing gear is arriving daily. Gelco Outdoors. Work, hunt, fish. That's what we do. Gelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3,
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LindberghTeam.com, LIMBIRD.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust.
Horizon. Trouble on the way. Some lightning. Bad time today. Don't go around tonight. Let me find take your dad.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
So, Matt, did we assign I think we assigned the unit Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh,
We're learning a little bit about Vanity from last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the movie Unit?
I checked out Vanity, and that was a nice visual there.
Yeah.
And then the laugh there is something I can't get out of my head. That is hilarious.
Well, everybody back in the day did an Eddie Murphy laugh. We all did, and some of us even had the Mumford T-shirt. It's funny.
Should I try to do it? Like,
what's that?
From
You
now
wanna
on,
try it?
instead of the McMahon laugh, should I do the Eddie
Add
Murphy?
it to the repertoire.
I can't do it, man.
Yeah, add it to your arsenal.
Nobody can ever replicate the Eddie Murphy laugh perfectly. Even his friend in the movie, gave her best shot at it. It's pretty much impossible to pull off. I sound like I could pull it off today, though. I can't even breathe properly.
Smelly cat, oh, smelly cat.
I don't even know where that one came in. Yeah, that's and then there was that one scene where the Vanity song is playing, and she's singing that song. I don't think she was the one on stage, though, but
I think it's called Nasty Girl.
Girl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is that not Janet
How have I
Jackson?
not heard that or known
Well,
about
that's Vanity.
Yeah. Did she not, it's Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
That's right, yeah. Janet Jackson was not a Prince protege, but Vanity was. I'm not sure what kind of a protege Janet was. That's probably what the song Control might have been about.
Control.
Uh-huh.
Did
Chris
people have her
Tucker-
poster growing
Chris
up?
Tucker in the movie Friday singing Control.
That's right.
Got out the car looking like Freddie Jackson. No, I'm going to call you. Just don't ever come back here. Never come back here. I call you.
Now, you just wait until you learn about Bridget Nielsen in the second Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know if that's a good enough movie to assign you, because the first one was good enough. Absolutely good enough. Cliff asked, was Lisa Eilbacher mid? And all of a sudden, I never knew the actress's name that plays Axel Foley's good friend in the movie, and it is Lisa Eilbacher. Thank you very much, Cliff. That is something brand new that I learned today. No, she was not mid. She was gorgeous. She was absolutely gorgeous and still alive all these years ago. I don't know any other movies that she was in. Lisa Eilbacher. That's good. And Mike gives us a little bit of trivia on Vanity here. She was married to Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. How do you like that? That's all brand new information. I just learned something new. 2 things that were new about one of my favorite movies, and also about somebody that I assigned you to learn about, Unit. So you could have been the one who told me about Vanity being married to Nikki Sixx. Yeah, I do remember Charlie Murphy on the Chappelle Show. He was really funny there. That was always good. All right, last thing before we go to the break here. Oh, he wants you to watch Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Scott says that. That's a Shelley Long movie, isn't that? Was that Shelley Long? No, she did another movie. I think it was Beverly Hills Troop. That's what that was. I keep getting there were a bunch of movies in the 80s that were named after Beverly Hills. Shelley Long did Beverly Hills Troop. Down and Out in Beverly Hills was a totally different thing, and I can't remember who was in that one. Beverly Hills was cool then. And then, of course, in the 90s, we had 90210, and nothing was cooler than that. Halftime goes into our third hour in just a moment. Joe Healy from D1 Baseball joins us in about 20 minutes to talk about the Razorbacks. Anything else you want to hit on when we come back, it's up to you. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and we're back right after the break.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-5151. That's 800-885-5151. Again, that's 800-885-5151.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon, low 40s north, upper 40s south. Clear skies. It'll be a cold go of it tonight and overnight, low mid-20s. Sunny skies on Thursday with a high close to 55 degrees. And then Friday, we're ending up with sunshine and a high near 65. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by COP CDL Academy. Want a life-changing career? Give them a call today at 479-632-1050 or check them out online at copcdlacademy.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect you.
Live from the Busch Lights Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, it's hour 3 at 1:01 in the afternoon. And thank you very much, Stan and Fort Smith, reminding me about Down and Out in Beverly Hills, Richard Dreyfuss, Nick Nolte, and Bette Midler. Talk about an all-star cast there, especially in the 80s. Yeah, nobody really was too big than those three. And then Seth and Fort Smith, another Beverly Hills movie, though this one was in the 90s, Beverly Hills Ninja, with the one and only Chris Farley. Was that the last movie Farley made? I think it might have been. Joe Healy, D1 Baseball, in about 15 minutes. Looking forward to talking with him about Arkansas baseball and college baseball overall and kind of how it fits within the context of the economics of the sport now. We got into Arkansas basketball quite a bit throughout the show here today. And, Matt, I got information on leading scorers for this Arkansas team here. If I find my notes here, Darius Acuff has led Arkansas in scoring in 13 of 22 games this year. So Malik Thomas and Trevin Brazile have each led the team in scoring 4 times, Malik Ewan once. And so that means 4 players have led the team in scoring so far, with Acuff way ahead of everybody else, 13 of 22 games. The last time Arkansas won a game that he did not lead them in scoring was South Carolina, and they just took it to South Carolina from the very start. Before that, it was James Madison. So, I mean, he has been the leading scorer in all but one SEC game. You know, you saw Trevin Brazile lead the team in scoring a little bit in non-conference. You know, he did against Texas Tech as well, Louisville as well. That might be the guy, Matt. Trevin Brazile could be the guy that can pick up some of that slack from Acuff, though obviously in a much different way as a different player. But there has to be that other guy. It's like Acuff is the dude. This is his team. He is going to lead them in scoring more often than not. But there are going to be days where he's off. As great as he is, there's going to be another game like Kentucky, and somebody else has to step up. I think Brazile can be and maybe should be that guy, because against 2 of the other better opponents in non-conference, he was.
Yeah, I wonder. We've talked about this, I guess, for 3 weeks now. It seems like about who's going to be the Robin to the Batman. We know who Batman is, and is it going to be by committee? Is somebody going to step up? I think you would. I think we both. I don't know. I had Carter Knox as a guy that would step up and be that guy. I don't know that he is. I wonder how mentally tough Trevon Brazile is. He doesn't seem like he's mentally, like, if things get a little tough on him, you bump him a little bit, you kind of can talk to him and get in his, but if you're not very athletic and you're soft, he'll dunk all over you.
Well, you can get under his skin.
That's what I mean. And so when you play a good team then you're going to be matched up with another athlete that's good. You're not playing a bottom feeder. You're not playing Mississippi State. When I watch them play Mississippi State and LSU, I will weight it like 3% of what it won't give me any type of thought how I think this team's going to do in March if you go and beat two teams that are horrible. I mean, they're the bottom. You're not those guys aren't even making the NIT. LSU and Mississippi State, they're garbage.
I'll pay attention to the steadiness that Arkansas plays within those games.
I want to see if they can be consistent. But if they go out and win the game by 21, it doesn't matter. Now, if they lose by 17, that would tell you more. It's one of those games where they don't gain anything by winning because they should win that game every time. Player for player for player for player, we are better than them. Is our coach not better than them? So everywhere you're looking on the team, Hubbard, yeah, they got one guy that can go. Yeah, and then they got another power forward. They got another wing. They got a couple nice pieces. But we're better than them everywhere. Mississippi State and LSU, how many NBA guys you think they got on their team? Maybe zero? Maybe probably zero. And Arkansas thinks they have 7 and you got 1. But it's just it's a mental thing. It's like what are we doing?
The thing I can't, if you can't have happen is go on the road, and even if it's a win, you give up the first 8 points. You're down 12-3 or something. Just because then it becomes an MO sort of a thing when you're playing away, and heck, it happened at home too. So poor starts, unfortunately, have become not a defining aspect of the team, but it is something that you've noticed, and it can't happen. I don't want to see it in these next 2 games. If you go to Auburn and have an off game against a talented team in a building like that, I get it. The whole Georgia game, that's a good Georgia
tournament team.
It's a good Georgia team. Now they just got I think they got blown out at home. I forget who it was that they had who was it? A&M. That's right. That A&M team is scary, and you still have them in your home building. That's another team that the way they play, they play baseline to baseline, Matt. They're going to come out hair on fire.
So they got 5 Billy Richmonds out there?
Yeah, that's going to be a team that plays to 11 because that's kind of the way the buckyball idea is, and it's taken the SEC by storm in the first month of conference play. And there's no doubt that they'll come into Bud Walton Arena, with a specific attitude of we'll show you, because I'm not sure how many people in the building will believe that A&M is as good as their record shows.
Georgia's just looking for any team that doesn't start with a T. They beat Arkansas, they beat Missouri, then they lose to Texas, lose to Tennessee, lose to A&M. They get LSU, Florida, Oklahoma, so they should get back on track a little bit. But yeah, they got a tough schedule too.
Ooh, breaking news here. Got the text from the unit. Oh, your favorite Dallas Maverick has been traded. Unit, does that hurt you a little bit now that the return for Doncic is gone? He's been sent. Wow, this is some trade. Davis going to the Washington Wizards for 5 players, including Chris Middleton, 2 first-rounders, and 3 second-rounders. So they're finally getting some draft picks. Did they get any draft picks in the initial Doncic trade?
It was pretty much straight up.
I thought it was just players.
Then it was like two other dudes. But yeah,
that was a bad. That looks even more like a bad trade now. Like when you're trading Davis. I get it. You want a healthy superstar, or you want healthy players around Cooper Flagg that can contribute, because he's doing it all by himself right now, playing point guard. He's on pay. His stats are pretty identical to Luka's at this time, but the team around him right now is nothing Luka had. Luka had a way better team around him.
So what do you think about, because the Wizards have now traded for Trae Young and Anthony Davis. It's an interesting combo there, Matt.
I like Trae Young. He's a little undersized, but he has unlimited range. He wants to get other players involved. He's savvy veteran. He's always going to be. I saw him play at Oklahoma when he was in college. A lot of the same stuff Acuff does. Trae Young, like you look at Trae Young, probably had a little more range, but they're kind of littler dudes that are faster and quicker. You can't steal the ball from them. Vision. That was one thing about Trae Young's vision is he's first class there. I like Trae Young. He's a nice piece. I don't know that the Wizards have anything else. They're
just trying to sell tickets.
Yeah, I don't think they don't do anything. It's not like they're going to make a run or anything.
Trading deadline's always entertaining, even if you don't pay that much attention to the NBA. Like watching about James Harden demanding another trade to Cleveland now. 5 trades in his career, all of them just requested. I looked this up too. You know the guy who was traded most in NBA history?
Yeah, he's a soccer player, Dennis Schroeder from Germany.
It was Trevor Ariza.
Oh, Trevor Ariza. He's a high school kid that came out. I think he went to Orlando. No, he went to L.A. first.
12 trades in an 18-year career. He was traded 12 times.
Check out Dennis Schroeder. Let's see.
I'm thinking like a guy like Dave Kingman in baseball that was traded so often. It's usually because people couldn't stand him. I think with Ariza's a guy that he was a glue sort of a player. Harden, I don't know if you ever call him a glue player. Certainly not. That's an interesting place for him to be headed off to. All right, we're going to go to college baseball in just a moment. Joe Healy from D1 Baseball will join us for a conversation about the Hogs and the rest of the SEC and college baseball overall. I want to remind you about Crabtree RV Center, where they've been doing it for 75 years and counting in Alma, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with the absolute best RV purchasing experience around. They're going to help you choose the right RV, feature personalized financing, top-of-the-line parts and service department right where you made your purchase. It's at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, CrabtreeRV.com. Crabtree RV Center, making your dreams come true. Joe Healy from D1 Baseball joining halftime right after this break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. What's the play this Valentine's Day? At ESPN Arkansas, we can lead you to a score. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a pink sapphire and diamond necklace from Swift's Jewelry. And gift cards from Cupid's Lingerie, Gregory Jewelers, and Joshua's Fine Jewelry. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day, plus earn other entries by following our social media accounts. The winner will be announced on Friday, February 13th during halftime. Hitthatline.com/Valentine's Day.
I've got a confession to make. I'm on my phone way too much, and most of the time, it's a waste. Hey, it's Ty Richardson for JamMart gas stations and convenience stores. There are some apps that are worth your time, such as the JamMart Rewards app. It includes top deals, the latest promotions, plus rewards that keep you coming back. Anytime I stop by the pump or register, my loyalty number is being utilized. Keeping up with my points and offers is easy. Download the JamMart Rewards app today in the iTunes or Google Play Store. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience stores in Arkansas.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right, pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
DraftKings Sportsbook is making every snap, every drive, every moment of Super Bowl 60 count with DraftKings Live Millions. Open the app, opt in, and get your promo token. Place a live bet of $1 or more on the Super Bowl, and you're in. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. That's code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. Bet live for your share of $5 million in prizes with code UNSPORTSMANLIKE. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, called 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, called 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Minimum odds -500. Prizes either bonus bets or single-use 20% profit boost. Max bet $20 that expire in 30 days. See official rules at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos for entry period and free method of entry. Sponsored by Crown Gaming, Inc.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
A high roller, even when the chips are down. So when we're over, I'd see the tables turn around. She's been the hard way, I can feel it in my bones. She'll be making my day, not another night alone. Well, it's time for the fall, not a single minute too soon. I've been too long overdue, now I wanna shoot the moon right there.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I've been looking forward to talking with Joe Healy from D1 Baseball. Joe is the co-editor of SEC Extra, which is D1 Baseball's premium SEC sub-site, also the co-host of the Highway to Hoover podcast. And he joins us today on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Joe, baseball season's around the corner, man. How you doing?
Doing well. But yeah, believe it or not, I feel like everybody I talk to these days is staring at snow on the ground, but yeah, believe it or not, baseball is right around the corner.
Yeah, we're not going to be staring at snow when the Razorbacks get on the field next Friday against Oklahoma State at Globe Life Field. Just as we get into this, just give me a couple of thoughts on how you think Arkansas may look coming into February.
Yeah, I think certainly it's another strong team, and I think it helps this team when you talk about getting off to a good start. I think it helps the team that this is nothing new. Them going to Globe Life Field is like another home game. And I don't just mean that in terms of being comfortable. I mean in terms of fan turnout. Dave Van Horn talks about it all the time, just how the support they get there is just on another level. And so it's a team that's replacing a lot of key pieces. They're going to have some new faces, but I think there's enough carryover here that they're going to go in and feel really comfortable opening weekend. And, you know, when you talk about beginning of the season, we're often not thinking about things like, hey, national seeds hosting, all that kind of stuff. But these early season games, when you play in Globe Life, are valuable games when it comes to the postseason standings. And Arkansas understands that, and I think they're going to play well in these games, understanding the value of them and just their level of comfort there.
Anytime I'm asked, and I played a quote from you recently that I think you and I may come in on the same idea here. When I'm asked, especially now, it's so difficult sometimes to know how a team is going to perform. Every team is put together differently now in the day and age of the transfer portal. So it's difficult to figure that out. What I do know is I know the coaching staff at Arkansas, and I know that they've been together for so long, since 2019, and the culture that they have inside the program. So anytime anybody asks me, how is the baseball team going to look? And I don't want to tell them, I'm not really sure, because there's always ifs. But I basically answer the question with a question. I say, is Dave Van Horn still the coach? And they realize at that point, yeah, the team's going to be good because Dave is the coach. He's got the same set of coaches, and they have a specific standard. And from what I've heard from you, you come in on that, I think, the same way that I do.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the quote maybe you're alluding to, but certainly one I've trotted out quite a bit this preseason, because there are a lot of people questioning the Razorbacks, especially when you look at the lineup and see so many new faces in there, and then asking some guys to do some different stuff on the mound. There has been a little bit of skepticism, and the thing that I've always said is that every year since they bottomed out in 2016, they've gone 18-12 or better in the SEC, and that's 18-12 is kind of tends to be the place where you're talking about not only hosting but being a national seed. The one exception was the year they ended up having to go to Chapel Hill. That was a weird RPI year. Okay, fine, we can toss that out. But for the most part, if you go 18-12 in the league, you're going to be playing home baseball in June, and that's what this program has been for now a decade. And so what I tell people is, unless you're telling me this is going to be the worst Arkansas team in the last 10 years, and who knows, you make a good point. There are always some questions. But I'm going to bet on them just being 18-12 or better in the league, because that's what they are. There's nothing about this team that suggests to me that we should be, sitting off a warning flare about something, impending doom. Like this team just looks like a pretty typical Arkansas team. There's some questions, yeah, but there's also some superstars here, and I think that's going to carry the day ultimately.
Give me a couple of the names that you think are superstars.
Ryder Helfrich, certainly. That's where you have to start. I think he's the best catcher in the country, and I think what makes him so special is he is such a varied, versatile player, and he's not going to get a chance to show all of that because he plays catcher. But, Dave is pretty open about the fact that, he could play shortstop if we needed him to. He could play center field if we needed him to. And that was eye-opening for me when I saw him a couple summers ago on the Cape, and he had that big breakout summer after his freshman year where I was like, oh, this dude can run. And this dude is agile and athletic, and he's not a typical catcher in any way, shape, or form. Before that, I kind of thought I knew what he was. I thought he was big, strong kid who'll run into a ball, he has some pull side power, he'll hit some home runs. But oh no, it turns out this dude's like a really exceptional athlete, and he just so happens to play catcher. And then you add on top of it the fact that they trust him to call his own pitches, which just doesn't happen that much anymore. So the fact that they trust him to do that says something about how they feel about him. I've got him on my list of SEC Player of the Year candidates. I think he certainly has to be in that mix. He's one of those guys. And look, no matter what role he ends up in, Gabe Gackle is a superstar. We saw it last year when they put him back in the bullpen. Yes, you would have loved, from an Arkansas standpoint, for the starter thing last year to have gone as smoothly as possible, and he was just a real stud from the beginning. Didn't happen that way, but when he was back in the bullpen, he was. And I'm going to bet on them. One of two things either happening here. One is the starter thing is going to click for Gabe this season, and he's going to be awesome. That's scenario one. Scenario two is, it actually turns out there are certain things about his repertoire or his preparation or the way his arm bounces back or doesn't that suggests he's not actually a starter. And we just need to move him to the bullpen because that's what he is. And in that scenario, he's awesome out of the bullpen. So I can't see it, barring injury, of course, I can't see a scenario where he's not awesome. It's just a matter of figuring out, is he actually a starter? And I think because they had the example he set last year, I think they'll be a little bit quicker making a move if they need to than they were last season, if it needs to go that way.
Another guy that could be a star is Hunter Dietz. And I was talking about this yesterday because he's got everything in the repertoire, and what you saw in fall. It's just he's only thrown 1 2/3 innings over the 2 years he's been at Arkansas. Injuries, obviously, the reason why, but there just is not really any experience there. There's a ton of stuff and size, and he's a hoss. But it does feel like a lot, not the whole success of the season, but you got to have starting pitchers. And you just mentioned one of them in Gabe Gackle, and there's a little bit of an if with Gabe, if he is a starting pitcher. This team needs Hunter Dietz to be not just a guy that go out there on Saturdays or Fridays, but to be as good as he can be. And sometimes that's difficult to do when you've only thrown 1 2/3 innings in 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's well put, and I think he is kind of a little bit of a hinge piece for this team. If this team is national title excellent, Hunter Dietz is probably a big part of it. And it's easy to forget now because it's been a little while, but, Gabe Gackle, if he was 1A in that recruiting class in terms of pitching talent, Hunter Dietz was 1B, and it's just been injuries that have kind of kept him from ultimately being what he can be. But we're starting to see flashes of it. I think we all saw it in the fall. From what I can tell, it has continued into preseason work. So I think we're getting there. And the other thing that's important about this that I always try to point out is, look, pitching depth is great. You have to have it. You can't not have pitching depth. However, when it comes to winning SEC series, when it comes to winning in the postseason, I kind of care more about who are your dudes on the mound. Like, who do you have that can go out there and beat another Friday guy in the SEC? Or who do you have that can go out there and be like a second Friday guy on Saturday to give you an advantage in every single series? Because ultimately, when it comes right down to it, you're going to have to, the most important things are winning a Friday night game to get off to a good start in a series, winning game one of a regional, winning game one of a super, winning game one in Omaha. And that's going to come down to who are your dudes, not who your depth pieces are. So look, I'm not saying depth doesn't matter, but I am saying you got to have those real tentpole centerpiece guys, especially on the mound. And if Gackle and Dietz are both in good form, they've got two of them. But we just haven't seen it, to your point. And that's, so we're all going to learn together as we go into this season.
Last year, Charles Davalon just made this huge jump coming from Florida Gulf Coast as a freshman to a sophomore and just was a huge star. And obviously he's, drafted first round by the Dodgers. It's a different situation, but Micah New feels like he could be that kind of player for Arkansas this year. Now, he's a senior, so he's been around college a little bit longer. He's right-handed, not left-handed like Davalon. But also, I think like both of them, they were both learning the outfield while they came to Arkansas, because New was a shortstop before, a lot of errors, center field. But watching him, he's got all the tools to be the same kind of star that Davalon was last year. And, when you're turning your lineup over the way that they are in some cases, you need somebody to fill that. And I think New looks like that kind of guy.
I think you're right. I mean, it was such a revelation this summer on a couple of fronts for Micah New. I think, he was obviously not a household name when he was at Marshall, but you started to hear whispers of like, hey, because Marshall was they were improved last year. And I think one of the reasons, once I started digging into it, that people were telling me is this Micah New kid is a real talent. Like, he's a real guy. But the revelation was, he goes out in the summer, and there were some concerns when he was at Marshall about swing and miss, and can he really impact the baseball? He's got power, but is it metal bat power? All those things. And also, oh, by the way, he made 30 some odd errors at shortstop. Well, he goes out in the summer and the dude rakes with a wood bat. He shows power with a wood bat. There weren't as many holes in the swing as we thought there maybe were. And he immediately took to center field. Center field, obviously not an easy position to play. And he's done it some. He did it at New Orleans before he was at Marshall, but never for a full season. But he just looks like a fish to water out in center field, whereas last year at shortstop, you saw the tools, but it just never clicked. It was just, you could tell he was just kind of playing out of position. You didn't know at that time what position was right for him, but you knew it wasn't shortstop. So he was a total revelation over the summer. Now, I think there are still some things to prove. It's still a guy who's never really hit for a ton of average. And so in the SEC, I think we'll learn, is he a guy who is going to hit for more average than we've ever seen from him before because he has been developed to the point where he can do that? Or is he maybe just a guy who's going to hit 250, but he's going to run into 15 home runs because he's got some pop in his bat? And that's still a productive player, especially if he plays a good center field. So that's the only question for me is, like, will the average come along? I'm inclined to say yes because of what we saw on the Cape with the wood bat, but ultimately that to me is what could be the difference between him being a very good player and being a great player.
Joe, you cover all the college baseball, but you got that big focus on the SEC with SEC Extra and the Highway to Hoover podcast, and it's all great stuff. There were two teams out of the SEC in Omaha last year, and that's it. And that felt like a lot different than usual. I still think the SEC is far and away the best league in college baseball in terms of talent, in terms of coaching, in terms of support. But are the other leagues starting to catch up?
I think a little bit. Yeah, sure. I don't think the overall pecking order has changed. The SEC still stands on top. I don't think there's any reason to doubt that at all at this point. But the gap has closed a little bit, and I think it's a couple of things. One is that the SEC has consistently, and this is not just true in baseball, this is true in all, especially the big sports, the SEC is a first mover on things that are new, right? Like, I remember that first offseason when transfers really became a thing, and LSU just immediately grabbed Tommy White and Paul Skeens, bam, bam. And it was like, oh, like, these guys are serious. Like, that's a national title winner now. And other programs followed suit. I mean, Arkansas went a little bit harder into the portal starting in that offseason after before kind of just dipping their toes into it. And, the NIL stuff, the SEC was quick to jump on it and quick to say, hey, if this is going to make us better, we're going to do it. We're not going to wait and see what happens. We're not going to test the waters. We're just going to dive in the deep end and see what happens. And so they have the first mover advantage on a lot of that stuff. Now, I guess what I would say is that the rest of the country is kind of caught up and is no longer getting caught flat-footed on some of that stuff. Like, whoever the version of Tommy White is today in college baseball, he's not leaving, probably not anyway, leaving NC State to go to LSU. Like, players from good power conference teams are not getting poached by SEC teams the way that I think we thought they might after we saw what happened with Tommy White that first offseason when the portal was a thing, or when the free transfers were a thing. So I think that's one. I also think increasingly as the sport gets the SEC's been there for a long time in terms of the sport being a big deal. But as the sport continues to grow and more programs kind of get bitten by the baseball bug, and it becomes an even bigger deal, and I think everyone thinks that we at D1 Baseball have a front row view to it, like how much the sport grows, because that's our business. And it has continued to grow and doesn't really show any sign of slowing down. And as that continues, I think there are just going to be more programs that say, hey, it turns out compared to baseball and men's and women's basketball, baseball is kind of a cheap date. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot of money to really make an impact on your baseball team, whether it's new facility stuff, whether it's, the rev share stuff, scholarships, all that kind of stuff. So I just think there are more programs that have decided, hey, you know what, we can make a real difference here in baseball with not a lot of investment. And if that continues to happen, then those conferences are going to catch up. And oh, by the way, like, I cover the SEC for a living, but I'm also a college baseball fan, and that's what's best for college baseball when those other conferences are being competitive with the SEC. So I see it as nothing but a positive.
So and to kind of wrap up here just on the craziness of what college athletics is, we got NBA players that are trying to get eligibility in college basketball now. I think it'll be I can't imagine you're going to see that in football. But what about the idea for baseball? Because this is a sport that's getting older. There are probably going to be fewer rounds in the draft sometime soon. Are we going to see a point where somebody that was drafted out of high school goes and plays minor league baseball, tries to get eligibility to play college baseball again? Because if it's happening in college basketball, it can happen in college baseball too.
Yes. And I'll say more words so that I give you a better answer. But yes, as long as this is the state of play, it will happen in baseball. Full stop. Now, a couple of little differences I think that could make a difference here is one, like I mentioned. Like, there are very few places that in baseball that are giving players what I would call life-changing money. And so you're someone who's got drafted, you're in the minor leagues. Like, yes, as a minor leaguer, you don't make that much money, but you make more than you used to, and maybe you had a signing bonus. And, with the minor league system being what it is, like, it would be hard for a player to give up on the dream of being, hey, you're one rolled ankle. If you're at the high levels of the minors, AA, AAA, you're one rolled ankle from being in the big league. So I really want to jeopardize that to come back to pro baseball. Now, the players at the lower levels, maybe they're a little more common, would more commonly be enticed to come back to college baseball. But there again, those players tend to be younger. And if you've only been out of college baseball or high school baseball or whatever, a couple of years, are you going to be willing to delay, moving further up the minors to go back and take a shot at college baseball? Whereas I think it's easier for a basketball player and certainly a football player to get the signs from the game that, hey, the game is telling you you're not good enough for this level. Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful to Charles Bediako, but I think it was pretty clear that, like, Charles Bediako was like, hey, I might get a 10-day deal in the NBA, but I'm not an NBA player. And so the way he can make life-changing money is to go back to college basketball and rake in the NIL dollars. I just don't know that same thing is applicable in baseball. So I think it's going to happen. I don't know that and these are famous last words, Phil, but, like, I don't know that it's going to become kind of an epidemic issue like it has or threatens to be in those other sports, but ultimately we'll see.
Really good stuff, and certainly something to touch on later on when somebody tries to do it. Joe, we'll leave it there. I really appreciate you hopping on with us today. It's great work on SEC Extra, and hopefully we can get you on again sometime, okay?
Yeah, anytime you need me, Phil, I appreciate it.
You got it. Joe Healy, D1 Baseball, SEC Extra, and the Highway to Hoover podcast. That was fun. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us on that or anything else on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And we're in the home stretch, and we're back after this.
Madison, James Madison, we are the Dukes of JMU. Madison, James Madison, the Fighting Dukes of JMU.
This is halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sácale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutzierge.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. So when you try the mini taco salad, beefy potato loaded griller, or chips and nacho supreme dip, enjoy the Lutz. Just don't let it go to your head.
Yeah, bring the car around.
You know there's no valet.
Then who's getting the car?
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
There's nothing better than hitting a bet unless your whole crew hits it with you. That's what MyBookie's all about. Are you ready for the next 2 weeks of the NFL? We're hooking you up with 2 can't-lose locks of season. Bet up to $10 per lock and double your money when they hit. Select the Lock of Season tab in the sportsbook. Wager up to $10 per lock. Double your money on 4 bets that can't lose. Don't forget about the Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie now, punch in code HOGS, and get your first bet covered up to $500. If you don't hit on the first bet, just use your Bet Back bonus token and run it back. Must opt in to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E. from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Arms around the man. That was it. And Nolan Richardson's walking off the court. Richardson is walking off the court. And Penders is screaming at the official about it. Nolan can leave anytime he wants, I guess. Flag hits them both, and of course, on the intentional foul, that possession.
That's the famous strolling with Nolan right there as he walked off the court, protesting officiating at Texas 36 years ago. And then, of course, the Razorbacks ended up fighting back and tying the game on a Lee Mayberry 3 and won it in overtime, 103-96. My favorite part of that video, though, Matt, that I see is, and I think we've talked about it with him before on the show, Matt Zimmerman was on the staff. I don't remember if it was a grad assistant or what the level was, but he was on the staff. And he's following Coach Richardson off the court, but then cuts in front of Coach in order to open the door for him. And you can tell the Matt Zimmerman haircut from about 5 miles away anyway. And that's some hustling right there, some serious hustling. And Zim told us, I talked to him on Twitter about it, had to go unlock the door because there was no arena security to guard the locker room. He was on the far end of the bench, and Dave England says to him, go unlock the locker room for Coach. So it's all right. He went and unlocked the locker room for Coach, and Coach eventually came back in overtime.
Strolling with Nolan, what a good word for it. And that time you had to walk past the visitors' bench too. It wasn't like you get to go dive off. He's walking right past the whole other team.
I don't know if I've heard of anybody doing that before that's not been ejected from the game. Just taking your ball and leaving as a protest. I mean, that's
well, your boy Gene Hackman and Hoosiers said no, we'll play with the 4 on the court, even though I had another guy on there. Has that happened? Have we just said no? We're going to play with the 4 that I got out there because our team rules are more important than your rules.
He also put his alcoholic assistant in charge of the team once and got himself a double technical.
That's how you got to go, though.
That's how you do it.
Little grease on the fire right there.
Oh, don't make me cough
Sick
or laugh.
Go get him, boy.
Yeah, that's the way you're supposed to leave a game, is get the double technical. But at least Nolan gave himself the option of returning. Because it's like, well, player goes to the locker room, come on back. Coach goes to the locker room, who knows what he went for. If he was just upset, if he had to go to the bathroom or adjust his belt or something, or he had an important phone call to make, who knows. Might just be hate the calls for the moment, make a point, and come back anyway when you're going to get the win. But no, I've never seen that before. And I've seen a lot of managers get ejected from ball games. I've seen, well, none of the coaches that I've worked for in basketball have gotten the double technical. I've not seen that before. I did see a coach break his pinky calling a timeout 13 seconds into a game and then coach the rest of the game. Steve Shields, that was hardcore. But no, it's the only time I've ever heard of anything like this. Nolan Richardson, yeah, he was a pioneer in so many ways, and there's another one, 36 years ago today, and it's also a Matt Zimmerman highlight, things that I just absolutely love. Yeah, Cliff, like there was anyone going to stop him? Of course there was not. Of course there was not. And then Nolan said he wasn't going to watch Arkansas lose to Texas, but he ended up not watching Arkansas lose to Texas.
Didn't watch him win either.
Yeah. You know, I mentioned it before, when Arkansas and Texas play, now, I forget because Clay has brought this up before, Nolan and Penders. I don't remember if they were buddies or not. Just the way, like, Darrell Royal and Frank were really good friends, but enemies on the court or on the field. When Arkansas and Texas play basketball this year, there's history between the coaches. Just not very much on the floor, because Sean Miller and Cal have only coached against each other once. But, you know, before Cal became a head coach, he was the top assistant at Pitt. The last season he worked there was 88. I think it was 87, 88 under Paul Evans. And he recruited some really good players that came there. Charles Smith, Jerome Lane led the nation in rebounding. Smith was a first rounder for the Knicks. And they recruited this great 5-man class, all freshmen from around the Pittsburgh area, including Miller, whose father was a longtime coach in Blackhawk High School. And I think Cal was there 1 year as an assistant when Miller played point guard. As a freshman, he was the starting point guard as a freshman. And then Cal goes to UMass the next year, and he's been a head coach ever since. And heck, Miller's been a head coach since like 2002. Always wanted him to be the Pitt head coach, but that never happened. And obviously it won't now, going from Arizona to Xavier, back to Xavier, and now at Texas. But there's a little history between those two. And it's not bad history. I don't think it's not that they got along, they didn't get along or anything. It's just You know, one was recruited by the other, and then all these years later, they're going to coach against each other for just a second time, which should be kind of fun to get at. But it's like I don't know about the Penders and Nolan thing. I don't know if they got along or not. But I do think Miller and Cal, I would hope they would get along. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Matt brought this up on the phone. I was going to play the soundbite, Matt, but it was too dirty. I couldn't bleep out all of the curse words. But I don't know what podcast this was that Tyrann Mathieu went on, and he's talking about trying to pass a drug test. And who was it that told him to drink bleach, and he did it?
The interweb.
Was it just reads it on the internet?
Yeah, so it's true, right? If you read anything on the interweb, it means it's true.
Didn't the president once talk about spraying Lysol inside your body to try to kill the COVID infection? I remember that.
There's someone I always heed to his words. That's the president. If he says it, that's even more gospel than the interweb.
Tyrant, I know a million. I don't know too much, but one thing I really do know is you're not supposed to drink bleach. Isn't that just like? It's like part of the human DNA. This thing that smells that strong.
He
that
mixed
burns,
it with some
burns
cola.
your eyes when you're putting your nose near it. That's not supposed to go inside your body.
Mixed it with the Coca-Cola Classic.
Ugh.
And a couple ice cubes.
Yeah. Well, see, Andy remembers the one way to pass the drug test, and it was the Whizzinator. But by the time Matthew had taken who's that Vikings player that got caught using the Whizzinator, and he was suspended because of it. So at that point, they're probably, what's the way to make sure that you know they're not using a Whizzinator? Be like, well, all right, you got to show it to me while you're doing it.
Oh, that's how they do it in the NFL. It's very violating. One of the most violating things is when you take your urine test in the NFL, you have to throw your drawers down to your knees. They have to go down below to your knees, and then you have to actually go while they're sitting there watching you go. That's how those tests are.
So what if you're somebody that has that suffers from stage fright?
To get over it, you got 4 hours.
Go drink 4 hours
water.
to stand there.
As soon as you get your notice, you got 4 hours. So go drink as much water as you can, and then we're watching. We're doing everything but unzipping.
There can't be that many guys in the NFL that suffer from stage fright, right? There's more.
There are a lot of alphas in the NFL. They don't really care. I think they just pull the car over on the side of the road when they got to go. Just let one out. Like, yep.
They might do it while they're driving. In fact, out the window. Who knows? Oh man, that's wild. That's wild. So it was the Whizzinator episode that got them to that point where they're going to violate your privacy. Oh my goodness, that's bad. That's uncomfortable. Be like, you know what? Maybe go to the end of the room if you're going to watch. You don't have to watch that closely. It's not that interesting. Oh man,
6 foot rule, right? COVID 6 foot rule. Put a mask on.
Maybe like a 15-foot rule. Yeah, put blinders on too. You don't need to be watching that. Come on, just listen. The sound will tell you what's going on. As far as I'm concerned, the sound actually works. All right, we got to wrap things up. We'll be back in a moment. Wrap up the show. This is halftime.
But I just have a lot of faith they're going to end up right where they want to be. They just always do.
Call them the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
This is halftime.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Not when you work with Tara Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours. Or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LindberghTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Presented by Central Hydraulics. When your equipment slows down, every minute matters. At Central Hydraulics, they keep your machines operating with the power and precision they were built for. From custom hydraulic hoses made while you wait to cylinder rebuilds, pump repairs, and hard-to-find parts. Their technicians get you solutions you need. Fast, accurate, and done right the first time. Stop by 6104 Highway 271 in Fort Smith or call 479-646-0471. Whether it's a simple hose replacement or a major hydraulic repair, they're here to keep your equipment performing. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Mark your calendars and save big at the Greater River Valley RV Show going on February 12th through the 16th at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Special show pricing and financing available on all units, new or used. Come and see our large inventory of industry-leading brands such as Grand Design and Forest River. Take advantage of the huge savings at the Greater River Valley RV Show at Crabtree RV Center, February 12th through the 16th. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gastons, a first-class time, every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, serving drivers since 1946 and built on a tradition of trust.
Well, south side of Chicago, it's the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Leroy Brown. Now Leroy, morning trouble. You see, he stand about 6'4". All the downtown ladies call him treetop over. All the men just call him sir. Right on. And it's bad, bad Leroy Brown. Better man in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong. Meaner than the junkyard dog.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, I think I made it through most of the stuff I was looking to get through today, though. And Matt, I still haven't made my first toddy. You've been telling me about this for, well, ever since we met. So I might give that a shot later today when I decide what is the next James Bond movie that I want to put on. Because I finished No Time to Die last night while I was in agonizing pain. And
did you watch them in order this time?
Yep, watched
from
them in
Daniel
order.
Craig. You watched his catalog. That's
watched
cool.
all 5 of those movies from start to finish, and it was really good. So what do I do next? Because I grew up with the Roger Moore 007. The first one I saw was For Your Eyes Only. I think that's the one with Grace Slick. Was she in that? Or Grace Jones? Do I want to watch Connery? Because Goldfinger is a classic. Scott Oddjob breaking, with his razor sharp hat. Maybe that'd be the one to watch. But I think Bond might help me feel better. A little 007.
Maybe the original Casino Royale, since that was a remake. And I'm a Pierce Brosnan fan. I like all the Pierce Brosnan Bonds. I like the Daniel Craig Bonds. I think I'd probably need to watch the Roger Moore. I don't know that I've seen the Roger Moore Bond movies. Did he do 2 of them? Or
no, he did a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think he and Connery even did a little bit of a back and forth in the 70s. There might have been there was a return by Connery, and then he was gone, and Moore came back, and I think it was the same actors though that were portraying the other parts, Q and M and Moneypenny. But it's different when in this last one. And I was like, when's the next Bond movie? When are we getting another one? Wasn't it supposed to be Idris Elba?
Well, I'd heard there's multiple Bonds and stuff, but.
Ooh, there's a good one. Octopussy from what Mike and Gravit says. And I've seen that go ahead, and he loves to laugh because Unit's like 5 years old. He got fired up about saying Schitt's Creek the other day when Catherine O'Hara passed away.
Well, I know what his new favorite Bond movie is now.
He's never even seen it before. Wait until you hear the character that the thing is named after. I'm not even going to say it here on the show. Your homework this weekend is watching Octopussy, okay, Unit? That's just automatically assigned to you. And then if he can say the female lead's name in that movie without absolutely dying of laughter on the air, I feel like I'll give him $50.
And maybe watch Austin Powers, the first one, where it's the Italian bird, what her name is. He's seen that one? Okay. Seen that one.
Really need you to not make me
laugh.
Any laughter automatically turns into cough, and then any cough, because I spent basically the entire day yesterday coughing, it's just going to be the next back injury. It's like, yeah, I'm at the point where being sick with the flu has turned into humor. Isn't that nice?
That means you're on the mend. That means you're on the mend.
Yeah. See, you thought the other day, Matt, when I sent you a joke with an answer, he was like, well, obviously you're feeling better. I was not feeling any better. It's just every once in a while at night when I'm ready to cry myself to sleep from all the shivers and the aches and the pain of the flu, I might have one half a joke ready to go.
That was before urgent care. That was before it was serious.
That's before I realized, you know what? I probably got to go see a doctor about this. There's a few other things I got to see a doctor about too. All right, Ruskin and Zach are coming up, speaking of doctors, and we got the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast ready to go in a moment too. And then tomorrow, Clay Henry's back. I'll probably still sound like a frog, and it'll be a fun show as always. So for Matt and the Unit, Christian, I think you should watch Octopussy as soon as the show is over. We'll talk about it tomorrow. That's halftime for a Wednesday. For Matt and the Unit, I'm Phil. Have a great day.
Life is